familiar with blue and the charmed ones too on Charm Chats.
Hello! And welcome to Charm Chats with Kendra.
And Kat.
Kat has an announcement.
I do. Before we start, I just wanted to announce that I'm going to be at Anime Midwest, which is a convention in Rosemont, Illinois, on Saturday, July 7th, 2018. So if you will be there, if you see me, come up and say hello to me, because I would love to meet you. I will probably wind up having my Charm Chats tote bag with me because it's awesome.
Yeah.
I will also be at Gen Con in Indianapolis, Indiana, August 2nd through the 5th, 2018. I'll be there with a bunch of my D&D people. Mm-hmm. But again, if you see me, come say hi. I know that at least one of those days I'll be in a casual cosplay typey thing for my the Critical Role thing.
Oh, yeah.
But other than that, I'm probably just going to be in like cute t-shirts and like D&D t-shirts, and I'll probably bring my Charm Chats one too, just because, you know. But yeah, so I just wanted to put that out there. So if you happen to be at either of those places when I am there and you see me, come say hi. And to quote John, we don't bite unless you want us to. It's one of my favorite things he says in the opening before the games on the
It's
channel.
fun.
It's great.
Yeah, I had to stop watching that. I just didn't have time.
Yeah.
And I can't get it to go double speed at work.
Oh, that's sad.
Because it just doesn't on mobile YouTube.
Yeah, mobile YouTube needs to get its shit together.
Yes. Step up the fucking game already.
Yeah.
Oh, I can actually snap with my left hand. I did not know that before. This is the first time I've actually managed to... Like, it's not a very loud snap, but yeah. I can actually snap, because otherwise it's...
Yeah.
Yes, I can also clap with one hand, people. I just flap it. I just go completely limp with the fingers.
Well, I'm totally gonna have to cut.
This is really great
all
for
of
an
that
audio.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm
conversation.
totally gonna have to cut all of this out.
No, don't. It's actually really great for an audio. I was not being facetious. We're making noises.
Yeah, but they're loud and obnoxious.
They're not that loud.
We'll
I'm
see.
not clapping directly in front of the mic.
True. My snaps are much louder than yours, so I might tone down the audio just a little bit.
Fine.
We'll see. When I listen to this back, we'll see if I have to tone it down.
Okay.
But yeah, no, my dad used to do the sound of one hand clapping all the time, and so I learned how to do it on both hands.
Yeah, I can't really do it if I'm
kid.
trying. I can only do it if I'm just, like, letting the fingers flap against themselves.
Yeah.
Because if I'm tensing the muscle, it's interfering with the fingers connecting.
Yeah.
So.
I totally get that. I just have, like, as much as I have stubby hands, I have long enough fingers.
You have actually
that it
pretty
works.
skinny fingers. Like, I've got these sausage fingers right here, and yours are skinnier than mine.
Only because my fingers are slightly longer than yours.
That has no bearing on the thickness of your fingers.
Yeah.
The two are not corollary. It's not like a fixed volume that then must form into a shape, and how long it is determines how thick it is. That's not how fingers work. That's not how any of this works.
I love that gif. That commercial was hilarious.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh man. Anyway, sorry.
Was that a Geico commercial?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
Anyway, we are covering episode 311, Blinded by the Whitelighter.
Yeah.
Which aired January 25th, 2001.
Indeed. The title is based on the song Blinded by the Light by Bruce Springsteen. He's an American singer-songwriter born in New Jersey in 1949. And the song first appeared on his 1973 debut album, Greetings from Asbury Park, New Jersey.
Okay.
It is one of the most popular songs to produce a mondegreen, which is the mishearing or misinterpretation of a phrase as a result of a near homophone sang.
Hit me with your pet shark.
Yeah, it's the way that it gives it in such a way that it gives it a new meaning. They're most often created via songs or poems when the listener is unable to clearly hear the lyrics and therefore substitutes words that sound familiar and make some kind of sense.
AKA bad diction.
Yeah, kind of.
This is why your choir teachers tell you to enunciate.
Mm-hmm.
Because then your diction doesn't suck.
Yes. Two of the most famous ones come from Creedence Clearwater Revival's Bad Moon Rising, where people have heard there's a bathroom on the right instead of there's a bad moon on the rise.
I like that one.
And from Jimi Hendrix's Purple Haze.
Oh, yeah. Excuse me while I kiss this guy.
Yeah, instead of excuse me while I kiss the sky. Now, the fun fact...
That's an elision, too.
Yeah. The fun fact on both of those is John Fogerty of CCR and Jimi Hendrix both acknowledged the Mondegreens and would sometimes deliberately sing them during concerts.
Oh, man.
And
I'd do that.
And in 1967, it is publicly known that Hendrix would sometimes sing the Mondegreen and then walk over to the bassist, Noel Redding, and kiss him on the cheek.
That's adorable, and I love it.
I love that so much.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Anyway, the best part about Blinded by the Light, the Bruce Springsteen song, is that it made it to number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart in the U.S. of February 77, but not by Springsteen.
Huh.
It was actually a cover by British rock band Manfred Mann's Earth Band.
That's a fun name.
Yep. I'm not going to tangent on them because I think I've tangented enough before we even start, but links for everything on the website as per usual.
There's no such thing as too much tangenting.
Well...
I mean, that's a lie.
That's a lie. There is too much tangenting.
Here's the Wikipedia for lies. No, we're not going there.
No. But yeah, there is such a thing as too much tangent, but I try to keep my tangents at least mostly relevant.
You try.
I try. It doesn't always happen, but I try.
That's not what I said. I said you try. You inserted the rest of that.
I did. Anyway.
Okay, so... Bam!
So,
episode begins.
Yes.
We start out in the kitchen of the manor. We, pan up from the counter. There's a bunch of bottles and potion-making shit.
Yeah, they are cool-looking bottles.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like somebody went to, Pier 1 Imports and was like, what's the coolest-looking bottle you got? I need 6 of them.
Ooh, yeah. I constantly think, while I'm walking through, a Michael's or something, in the jewelry section, I see all those tiny little bottles that you can, put on necklaces. And I'm like, I want to do that. I want to make tiny little potion bottles.
Yeah.
And, put them in, put them on a necklace and just wear the shit out of them.
Yeah, one of my...
That would actually be a fun, witch thing. If they just went to Michael's and got tiny little potion bottles and put them on charm bracelets, and then they could just, tear them off. If they use the hook clasp, the crab claw?
Yeah, crab claw.
The crab claw clasp, just take them off and throw them.
So one of my friends, not the take them off and throw them kind, but one of my friends did a cosplay of what she lovingly called the witch.
Okay.
It was in all caps, the witch. Okay. She did basically it was a Ren Fair outfit type thing. And she had a necklace, a satchel, and a over the shoulder belt thing that had little hooks in it. Kind of like a bullet holder.
Okay.
But it had little potion bottles in it.
Bandolier.
That's the word. Thank you. In the bandolier, she had little bottles. And in each of the bottles was a little vial filled with liquid. And each of the liquids was an actual thing that you could drink.
Ooh, that's fun.
So I think she had...
I used to just do that with, bottles I'd find and, put paint water in them.
Oh, yeah, no, these were absolutely things you could drink. My absolute favorite was she had, her health potions were red Gatorade.
Yeah.
Her energy potions were blue Gatorade.
Mana.
Yep. She had greater potions of healing was Pepto-Bismol.
That's good.
Which made me laugh so hard.
That's
good. But that's what she did. She goes, they're all useful things. They're all actual to be used if you want them things.
Nice.
But yeah, she would walk around the convention and just randomly be like, health potions. It was hilarious. Mm-hmm. And I was like, dude, you're not a witch. You're a potion dealer.
¿Por qué no los dos?
Yeah, I know. But it was just funny. I was like, no, potion dealer. You're at a, convention. Just make a character out of it. Don't just be like, the witch. Really? Come up with something better.
Hey, don't knock on her method.
I know.
She had fun.
She did. She had lots of fun. And it was...
And you clearly had fun watching her have fun.
I did. I have fun watching other people have fun a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so we see Piper and Prue in the kitchen. Piper is in a 3/4 sleeve black shirt and black pants. Her hair's on a ponytail. And the collar of the shirt looked a little bit weird.
I figured out what it was. It was like a notched collar with a tie.
Right. And it was untied.
The edges were a little like ruffly.
Yeah, it was a little bit of like a
that's why it
scalloped
looked
edge,
weird.
and it was hanging oddly because it wasn't actually tied.
Yeah, it was a bit loose.
Yeah.
At least at the top.
Yeah, and she had it was kind of like she'd scrunched it a little bit. It was weird. Like it was hanging oddly.
It was also
on
difficult
her.
to tell because it's black, and black, unless you light it properly, you can't tell what the fuck it's doing.
Yeah, for a moment it kind of looked like she was wearing a hoodie backwards. Like that's how my brain recognized it, because the fabric in the front looked like it was pooling.
Mm-hmm.
And then like she moved and was like, oh no, it's just hanging weird and untied. Okay. But that was the first thought. I was like, is she wearing a hoodie backwards? Like, that's just weird. And then she moved. I'm like, oh, no, okay. Prue is in a black cropped tank top and black pants. Her hair is also down. And the tank top sleeves looked a little scrunched up. Like, she'd tried to, like, push them up even further.
Yeah, her hair made it difficult to tell if that was a halter top or not. Like, for me, at least. I kept looking at it, and I'm like, I can't really see... I can't really see the color of this thing because her hair is constantly in the way.
Yeah, I don't think we actually see the back of it, or if we do, I mention it later because I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
we watched them make a nice little bubbling potion of baking powder and bat guano. This is not on the stove. It's like to the side of the stove. They've taken off the heat or whatever. So probably that was in the recipe, or probably someone just staged it and they're like, be over here.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's for Phoebe so that she won't not have so that she will have backup for when she goes to meet the DA investigator.
Yeah. And then Leo walks in. He's in a cream sweater with a blue stripe across the chest and with a dark gray jacket over top.
Prue gets the brew, puts it in a bottle, and it's looking like kind of a like purpley indigo blue thing.
Yeah, it was funny because when she first put it in, it was like white on the bottom and purple on the top, and then she shook it up.
Yeah.
And I was like,
It got shook.
I had a perfume that did that, where it had like a cream base at the bottom and an oil base at the top, and before you sprayed it on, you had to shake it up so they'd combine.
Yeah, I was about to say lotion. No, the polish I use at work for instruments separates like that.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, this thing tends to rust metal.
Ooh.
We keep it in plastic bottles, but the original container it comes in is metal. And so if the top of it is exposed to any air, rust happens, and then it gets into the bottom, and then when you pour it into other things, especially if someone's shaken up the Gatorade bottle we keep it in, then it gets into the thing and you can't get fucking rid of it. But it also separates out into, like, the heavy, like, actual polished stuff, and then, like, I don't know, water or something, and the water, like, goes to the bottom for some reason. And so it looks really funny because there'll be, like, this, like, rust red layer on the bottom of my tiny bottle, and then, like, it'll be kind of transparent up for, like, an inch or something, and then the top is, like, real creamy, like foam.
Interesting.
And then you have to swirl it.
Very interesting. Anyway, Piper and Leo have a small fuss about him being late for dinner the night before, because apparently
he had work stuff going on.
Yeah, and he, of course, can't talk about his work stuff.
Piper
Gets a little
did
bit
a me on
distractious.
November 9th and cut her finger.
Yeah, get a little bit distracted. He walks over and heals her, and she laments about having to be understanding for the good of mankind.
At which point, Phoebe walks in.
Leo tells Piper that she has to accept the fact that she's engaged to someone who works for the CIA.
Piper does not find this amusing.
Phoebe asks if he really works for the CIA,
and then Prue makes a joke about her being blonde.
Yeah.
We've been waiting for that joke. Actually, we've already had several versions
We've
of that
had
joke.
several versions of that one, but this one was my favorite. It was like, ever since you went blonde. And he just kind of leaves it there.
Well, if this were Cabin in the Woods.
Phoebe is wearing a black skirt with what looked to be like randomly embroidered flowers all over it, paired with a shirt that has a fuzzy pink torso with small gold detailing and red panels at the shoulders, and then it's fuzzy pink on the back torso as well. And then black sleeves that have also some sort of random embroidery on them.
I think it's like a foil iron on something, whatever.
I don't know.
Like it's printed on, it's not embroidery, the gold.
But it looks like embroidery.
That's because it's shiny.
Yeah.
But it's definitely like a foil overlay that they put on top.
Yeah, it's
because it's
her weirder
flat.
outfits.
It's not actually embossed or anything.
Yeah, it's one of her weirder shirts.
I really fucking remember this outfit from from whenever the last fucking time I watched this show.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, because I'm like waiting for something to happen, or maybe I'm adding in like previous memories of her. Maybe it's the hair in combination with this outfit that's making my brain go this, and that's all it does.
Yeah,
that's all my brain wants to do with this outfit.
Yeah, her hair is down and it looks a little bit more layered than it was before.
Yeah, she's got some face framing and it's flipping out a little at the bottom.
It could just be the way it was styled, but it looked like it had more layers. She's also wearing that little cross necklace with the additional pendant on it. And
cross from what?
Yes, we've had that joke last time.
I know.
But I'm thinking that the pendant is like a Saint Michael or
yeah,
something
Catholic.
Yeah, it's something Catholic to go with the
which is funny
cross.
because they don't normally have Catholic iconography.
They don't.
They Christian, sure.
Yeah.
Quote unquote Wiccan, sure.
Yeah, it's just interesting to me that while they're supposed to be these, Wiccan witches, whatever, there's still a lot of Christian ideology.
Because internal biases of writers.
Yeah. Anyway.
And probably everyone else.
Small tangent on CIA. CIA stands for the Central Intelligence Agency, but it also stands for the Culinary Institute of America.
My friend almost went there.
Mm-hmm.
It's expensive, though.
Yeah, as well as art institutes in California, Cleveland, and Colorado, and an industrial arts college in Texas.
Yep.
And a bunch of international airports around the world.
Suki St. James went to the CIA.
Mm-hmm.
That's a Gilmore Girls for y'all.
Yes. Anyway, I'll put some links to that stuff on the website because I'm me and I'm weird.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Yeah. Piper asks Phoebe if she wants something to eat before she meets with Reese, but Phoebe's way too nervous. And they're going to a diner.
Which we don't know at this moment, but yeah.
Eh.
I did think it was a little weird when I was like, oh, wait, they're meeting at a diner? Why would she have to eat first? But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, she says she's
Piper's
too nervous.
Just being mom.
Yeah. She says she's too nervous to eat. And then Prue hands her a vial of the potion and tells her that a single drop.
This is bolded and made large print.
A single drop in Reese's coffee will make him choke if he's a demon. So remember that for later.
Gee, is it gonna come up later?
Just a bit.
Anyway.
Single drop.
Phoebe apparently hasn't even considered this as a possibility. She's just worried that he's gonna ask her about Cole. And Prue's like, wait, why are you so nervous? And she's like,
I just don't want to get the 3rd degree.
Yeah. Bad cover up, Phoebes. Bad cover up.
Yeah. My favorite
check your foundation, sweetie, because it's showing through.
My favorite is that Prue jokes that as long as she doesn't blurt out, I killed Cole, she'll be fine. And Leo tells her to practice saying, as far as I know, Cole is alive and well and could be anywhere.
And she kind of pauses because the narrative irony of this is not lost on her. And so she says the thing Leo told her to say.
With a small eye roll.
Small eye roll and internal fuck.
Yeah. And then Piper goes, that was very believable. And Prue's like, yeah, try not to look so guilty when you say it and you should be fine.
Yeah.
And as Phoebe goes to leave, Prue shouts out a be careful after her. And it made me think that something totally bad is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't. It winds up being fine. But, like, in that moment of, like, be careful. Okay, what horrible thing is going to go wrong?
Yeah. And then we cut to an undercranked helicopter shot.
Yeah, it's one of those shots that, like, goes over the Triangle building. And then it kind of does the weird, like, pivot thing, and then we cut immediately to see a woman in an outfit of shades of blue running away from a man wearing black silk shirt and leather pants.
Yeah.
Now, before we go any further with this, even though we don't know their names, I'm going to tell you about them because I recognized the man instantly.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah. But first, the woman. The actress is Camille Langfield. She only has 18 acting credits between 1998 and 2011, with this episode of Charmed being her 4th gig. That's about all we know. Mm-hmm. The man is Steve Valentine. He is totally a that guy, but I know his name. He was born in Scotland in 1966. He has been acting since 1995, and he is still going strong. He is also a magician. Mm-hmm. And I was telling Kendra about this before the show, and I've mentioned it on the Discord, I think, but I swear he was in, like, a murder mystery escape room, like, reality show thing that I cannot for the life of me remember the name of. But I'm only, like, 85% sure that it was actually him. Mm-hmm. So there is some margin for error there.
Yeah.
But, like...
Yeah, about 15%.
Yeah,
about a tax bracket worth.
Yeah. It's not on his IMDb page, which is why that 85%, is there as opposed to the 90%.
Yeah, most people would probably remember him from, like, Crossing Jordan or something.
Yeah.
Which was one of those police procedurals from, like, the late 90s.
Yeah, I've watched maybe an episode of that.
Yeah, he was the token goth
of course
morgue attendant.
Of course he was.
And he had these fun, like... I remember these fun glasses or something, or goggles, or protective things he had to wear. And that's all I remember. Mm. That's literally it. And then my brain goes straight into Abby from NCIS.
Yeah.
Because similar aesthetic.
Yeah. I love Abby.
Mm-hmm. I don't like NCIS, but I love Abby.
She's leaving the show. Well, by the time this airs, she will have left the show.
Future imperfect.
Yeah. But as the time of recording this, I think there's still one episode with her left.
Okay.
And I'm really sad about it.
Yeah, like, I was never
everybody's
into that.
leaving that show.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to this show. We learn that the woman is a witch and the man is a warlock as he throws a fireball at her, and she deflects it into some, like, wooden crates.
And then she melodramatically taunts him by telling him that she has the power of deflection and his powers cannot harm her.
Yeah.
And she's doing some, like, heightened accent thing.
Yeah.
Going on.
Yeah.
But then,
He throws another fireball at her.
She deflects it into him. He burns and disappears.
Yeah.
And she's relieved for half a second before
he shows up behind her.
She shifts, and the frame shifts, and he's right fucking there.
Yeah, he appears behind her, grabs her, and holds an athame against her neck. And it's an athame with, like, a bright purple handle.
Yeah, purple or blue or something.
Yeah, it was like some shade of purplish bluish.
I think it was blue. That's what I remember from seeing it this morning.
I don't remember, and we know my eyes are weird with blues and greens. So
yeah. Sometimes I think about holding up things of similar colors and telling you they're completely different colors. See, and then having fun.
That would just be mean. But my brain eventually...
I think about doing it. I don't actually do it.
Yes. But my brain eventually sees them as correct. And if I see those same things again, I usually remember what color they were.
It's hue that you can't distinguish. Darkness you can...
Yeah. I can tell the difference between dark and light.
Uh-huh.
And and like I said, if it's something that I've seen before, like, the rainbow flag...
Yeah.
I can tell the difference between the blue and the green in that.
Yeah. Without
an issue because I've seen it before. And my brain has gone, oh, I remember that. The AFC Wimbledon scarf. I know that that's blue with its yellow.
Yes.
Because I've seen it before and my brain has finally recognized and going, oh, right, yeah. The shade of blue that are your curtains. The shade of blue that's on the
technically they're
Star Trek
like
thing.
Green.
To my brain, they look a shade of blue.
They're a bluey green, but they're not blue.
So they're teal. Got it.
They're lighter than teal, though.
Okay, so they're aqua. Got it.
They're darker than aqua.
I will punch you.
They're in between teal and aqua.
They're seafoam. All right.
Seafoam is lighter than aqua, and it's more green.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wait, no, seafoam is not the right color.
My color perception is fucking awesome, okay?
Yes.
I pass all those computer tests, god damn it.
Yeah. Anyway.
Especially the ones where they allow you to tilt your computer back and see which one changes. Okay. I know that's a bit cheating, but...
Okay.
But I sometimes do that when I just get frustrated.
Okay.
I'm not a robot. Because I can read those curvy letters.
Yes.
Watch John Mulaney's special, guys, if you haven't already.
Oh, it's beautiful. Anyway.
Yeah, So
he holds the athame against her neck, and he says that cloning himself is just one of the powers that he's collected by killing witches, and then he stabs her with the athame and takes her power via light, going from her face to his. And his acting is just a little bit over the top, but it's Steve Valentine, so I will let it go.
It works for him.
It works.
It doesn't so much work for her.
Yeah, just a bit.
But that's because we know him.
Yes.
Yeah. We're old friends. We're old friends from the telly.
Yeah.
But knowing him gets him some leeway. Yeah. We don't know her.
Exactly.
Very well.
The witch falls to the ground just as a female Whitelighter orbs in. She is in a gray suit.
And I'm like, hey, it's you! And she runs over to the witch and, kneels down and does this fun little, hand motion.
Yeah,
she's
tries
trying to wax
heal.
on and wax off at the same time, but, 3 inches above the witch's stomach.
Yeah. She's trying to heal the witch, but the warlock says
one
that
hand's going witter shins and one's going the other way.
Yes.
I don't know what the opposite of witter shins is.
I
know one's clockwise, one's anti-clockwise. I don't know both old D-time names.
Yeah, don't know. The warlock says that she's too late, and then he blinks out, and I will tell you about this actress after the opening credits.
You know, honestly, I find the blinking out noise annoying.
It is a bit.
It's like...
Yeah, it is a little bit. So, we go to the opening credits, and we learn that there is no Cole or Daryl in this episode, because they're not in the credits.
We see Piper and Leo in the dining room at the manor. They're sitting down to breakfast or something.
Yep. And Leo has removed his jacket, and we can see that he has paired his sweater with jeans.
Mm-hmm.
He's being much more cash.
Yeah. Piper, as she's sitting down, explains her plans for the day and asks him what his are. And he can't tell her. He just kind of goes, oh, and she's like, actually, I don't. Yeah. And I would like it if you could tell me. And he's like, but Piper, I can't break the rules. We're on probation. I can't tell you about my day. It's confidential.
Yeah. I can't tell you about my charges. Meh. She then wonders if they'll ever be allowed to get married. And Leo's like, nothing's going to stop them from getting married.
And as they lean in for a kiss,
that female
redhead orbs in behind them.
Yes, she's holding the athame. She interrupts them, and we learn that her name is Natalie. And Leo says,
before she's even finished
finished orbing in.
No, it is definitely before she finishes.
Yeah.
She's still blue.
Yeah, it was very interesting. She's not even close to finishing orbiting in. And he's like, Natalie. And it's like, what the? Oh, all right, fine.
Whitelighter, hand waving mumbo jumbo.
Exactly. So let me tell you about her. The actress is Audrey Wesolowski. She started acting in 1987, and she is still going strong.
She's kind of a that woman.
Yeah, a little bit. She's had pretty good runs on shows like Big Love, Mad Men, and My Life as a Teenage Robot.
Yeah.
Yes, that is a real show that ran from 2003 to 2007.
Was fun.
But she's mostly been in single episodes of stuff and done voices in video games. Mm-hmm. That sort of thing.
At this point, Prue walks in from the kitchen, sees Natalie holding an athame, and goes, athame, and starts to try to jump over the dining room table.
Yeah, it interests me that she doesn't fling the athame away with her power. She goes to jump over the table.
Yeah, that's a very Phoebe move.
Yeah. It was very out of character.
What was the thing last episode that... Oh, yeah, they were in the, playground in the ice cream truck, and Prue's like, no powers. And Phoebe's like, not surprised. Mm-hmm. I think they're making that a bit of a trope now.
Yeah.
Because Prue's just like, athame. They've got to repeat everything 3 times.
Yep.
Because it must be in triplicate and buried in soft peat for 3 months.
What?
Douglas Adams. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
It's been a very long time since I've read that book.
Mm-hmm. I forget what the name of the species is, but they're the ones that have the absolutely horrendous love poetry that kills people.
Oh, Vogon.
Vogon, yes. And that's part of their bureaucracy, is that you have to have it in triplicate and buried in soft peat. It might be 3, it might be 6 months. I forget.
Yeah, like I said, it's been a very long time since I've read that book.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to tangent.
Yeah, I accidentally stole one of those books. I think it's over there somewhere. Oh yeah, right there. Life, the Universe, and Everything. That's the one I accidentally stole from my library. Lost in my closet. Told them I returned it. They made me pay. Found it when I moved.
Well then.
Oh well.
Yeah, I have a hardcover book of all 6 books of the trilogy.
That's a funny phrase.
Mm-hmm. But that's Hitchhiker's Guide for you.
I know.
Yep. Anyway.
The ships hung in the sky, much in the same way that bricks don't. This man is a genius of metaphor.
Yep.
And yes, I say is, because he's not dead in my heart.
I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's alive.
Him or Terry
For me.
Pratchett. Yeah, Phoebe, thanks. Except I didn't fucking kill Douglas Adams.
Are you sure?
I'm definitely sure, because I think he died when I was an infant.
Hey,
Didn't he die in the 90s?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, no.
I don't remember.
And in England.
Anyway, okay, so.
Yeah, anyway,
Natalie says that she's not there for social reasons, and that because her charge didn't stay hidden like she was told to, a warlock now has the power of deflection, and all Whitelighters have been put on alert.
and Leo informs them that Natalie is an old friend, and they've known each other since World War II.
Yeah.
And Natalie's like, too much information, Leo.
Yeah. He asks why he didn't hear the news, and
She's
Natalie
like,
says,
you missed the staff meeting.
that's mandatory.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And Leo reminds her that it's only mandatory unless a charge is in need, and that Piper needed him to heal her.
And she's standing up by this point, and she shows her finger that she cut, and
Natalie says that
Natalie's super unimpressed.
Natalie says that since healing is restricted to demon attacks, she's going to assume that a demon attacked her finger.
Leo tells her that the charmed ones deserve special attention.
And then we get one of the best moments that I have ever seen, and I'm kind of glad that I had completely forgotten about it.
Oh my god,
because
I had too.
the gift sets on Tumblr do not do it justice.
Yeah, Natalie says, "Oh, I've heard about your special attention." And then follows a lot of clicking.
Yeah.
And facial expressions and gesturing. It's very Italian.
A little bit, yeah. Piper's reaction to the sound of this Whitelighter language has got to be the best thing I have ever seen. Like, how does one even describe it? It's like she takes a quick breath in, she's kind of startled, and then she grabs the back of the chair. And I know...
And one eyebrow goes into the stratosphere for a half second.
Yeah, I know that there's a GIF of it on Tumblr, and there's a video of this scene that's attached. It's just the most wonderful thing. I will put...
Let us play
link.
the noise.
Yeah, I will put a link to this page on the website so that everyone can see it. But I will play for you just a bit of the click-clacky
And my
language.
favorite thing is her earrings. I'm looking at this GIF, and her earrings do this lovely, like, jiggle.
Yeah, her earrings go flying about. It's great. So I will play for you now a bit of the click-clacky talking so that you can just hear what this is if you've never seen this episode. So there's the click-clacky languagey thing.
Prue mucks the clickety-clackety. Then...
like, we hear Natalie mention Piper in English, so we know, the girls know that they're talking about her.
Because apparently that doesn't translate into clicky-clacky.
Yeah. Or she wanted Piper to know they were talking about her. One or the other.
That seems the kind of petty that we have known this character to be for all of 5 seconds. So yeah, I'll believe that.
Exactly. Prue says that she's going to go to get the Book of Shadows. Natalie says she might be able to identify the warlock, and Prue says that the book is in the attic.
And then Natalie does that thing where she corrects the person she hasn't known for all of a minute. Mm-hmm. She's like, oh, you mean the altar room? Like, cheerfully, too.
Yeah.
And she's
because
like...
the rules state that the Book of Shadows should be in a sacred and protected spot.
And she does it in the all witches are supposed to do this kind of parlance.
Leo says that Prue should just bring the book downstairs, to which I went, yes, take it out of its secret, special, protected, sacred spot to bring it downstairs.
Apparently that's not against the room.
Okay, that seems to be fine.
Sorry, not against the room. I meant the rules.
Yeah.
Not against the rules.
Yeah.
And then Prue says, okay, I'll just go up to the altar room and get the Book of Shadows.
It's
Don't
right
worry,
next to the potions lab.
And I'm like, what is this, fucking Hogwarts?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
It was really funny. So she leaves the room, and then Leo picks up a strawberry from the food that they had been eating.
Starts to eat it. Natalie does a single
click at him. And Piper jumps at the sound again, which was great. And he kind of sheepishly puts the fruit down, and Piper just kind of gives him a look, and he goes, not supposed to eat on the job.
So I guess pussy's out of the question.
Oh. I'm just going to leave that one alone.
You do that.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, we cut to seeing some trucks on the street pass a place called Rose City Diner.
Yep. We pop inside to a diner, supposedly this place, and we see Phoebe and Reese sitting at a table. He's in a lovely gray suit. He asks if she'd like something to eat.
She says no, and then sees a waitress pass by and then goes, actually, I would like a bagel too.
Yeah. As he turns away from her to ask the waitress for a bagel,
she leans over and pours pretty much the entire tiny vial of potion into his drink.
Now remember how Prue said she just needed one drop?
Yeah, that would have been way less intrusive, and no one could have gone, hey, that woman put something in your drink.
Yeah.
Also, like, how's that going to affect the flavor of the coffee? Because he takes it black.
Yeah.
Granted, taking it black would probably obscure tastes of much of anything else.
I don't know what bat guano tastes like, but...
I mean, I know they sometimes use it to make certain kinds of coffee, so...
Well, there is that. But yeah, it was just like, Prue said a single drop, and you literally put almost the entire vial in there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then...
That was extremely sassy, from me.
It was. He turns back to her, saying that the diner is nice and crowded, and wonders if she picked it because she's afraid of something.
He takes a sip of his coffee.
Looks like he's about to choke.
And then coughs, and then blames his allergies.
Yeah, and I would say... Okay, I won't say that it was bad acting, but it wasn't a great moment of acting.
It was mostly for the effect of Phoebe, like, holding her breath.
Yeah.
For a half sec.
Yeah.
While he recovers. And then she's like, okay, she kind of frowns. She's like, that was a bit weird.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck was that about?
Yeah. Like, part of me kind of wishes that he had just drunk it and didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Just took a sip of it and was like, okay, so blah, 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 blah.
That wouldn't have had any comic effects, though.
But
this seems like it was
didn't
meant
really
to be
have
funny.
comic effect either.
Exactly. It was meant to be funny and it really didn't land.
Yeah. It fell flat.
Yeah. Because it's trying to fool the viewer into being like, oh, maybe he's... No, he's not.
Yeah. And it wasn't, I think it was either...
I would have loved him to take a drink, set it down, and then go, okay. Like,
yeah,
just
like,
a little single cough, not like I'm choking.
Complete honesty, it would have been better for me if he had taken a sip, put the cup down, and then sneezed. And blamed allergies. Like, that would have been funny.
I love that.
That would have been funny, because then it would have been like, oh, sorry, allergies. But a single cough does not an allergy make.
A single moment of quasi-choking does not an allergy make.
Yeah. Yeah. So it fell flat just a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, he asks if she's afraid, which she takes to mean that she's afraid of Cole. She asks why she should be afraid of Cole.
Because now she's totally chill about the fact that she's meeting this guy because she knows he's not a demon.
Yeah. Reese says that there are several reasons, including the fact that he's a fraud and has a hidden cabinet of, quote, occult paraphernalia, unquote, and he shows her a picture of the altar. He asks if she knew anything about it.
She does a fairly convincing no,
yeah,
and then corrects herself to be grammatically correct and says, yes, I don't know anything about it. Like, it was just because, like, are you telling me that you don't know anything about this? And she's like, no.
Yes.
And so, like, yes, I'm telling you I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She bails, tells him she can't help, and gets up to leave. And he's like, oh, Cole knows how to cover his tracks. He could hurt you. She turns away. Or your sisters. She kind of glares at him and then turns away and leaves.
Yeah. Like, he
don't bring my sisters into this, you bitch.
Yeah, he basically wondered if she was scared of, like, getting in trouble if she tells the truth. That sort of thing. It's like...
I'm too distracted in this scene by her hair. It's too good. It's beautiful. I love it.
I have issues with this particular character that they haven't really developed him enough to give me any sort of feeling about him.
He's
like, I don't know whether I'm supposed to like him or hate him.
He's a one-note plot point.
Yeah.
Because all he's there to do is to add some tension for Phoebe, because we know what her secret is.
Yeah.
No one else does. And the only one putting pressure on her about it is this new guy. Because her sisters have already accepted the fact. Leo's accepted the fact. Like,
yeah, everyone's accepted the fact that she killed Balthazar. And
so the only
Cole
way
was Balthazar,
to refresh this conflict, because I assume Gillian McMahon was busy and couldn't be filming for these episodes, so they wouldn't write him into the script. Or maybe they just decided not to, and they're like, well, how do we remind the viewer about this plot line? That was a weird, like, Graveyard Girl affectation I just did.
A little bit.
I don't even watch her that much. I watch her hair tutorials. That's about it, because I just want to watch people do shit with hair.
Yeah. I love Graveyard Girl. She's great.
Hi, Swamp Fam. But yeah, this is the only way the writers could think to remind the viewer of this particular plot line.
Yeah.
Which is kind of dumb.
Yeah, it's not really needed. I think that's the issue, is that...
What would have been interesting is, like, oh, you know, maybe he's given her a bunch of, like, little gifts, and she just keeps finding them randomly throughout her life, and then has to go, fuck, and then, like, throw them out and, like, try and... I don't know.
Yeah,
that's one idea. Probably not the best idea, but I like it.
Yeah. Anyway, back at the manor, we are in the wicker room. We see Piper and Prue sitting on the wicker love seat looking at the Book of Shadows. And
Leo and Natalie are standing on the other side of the wicker coffee table.
Yeah. And they learn from the book that the power of deflection is a witch's best shield against the forces of darkness.
Prue wonders aloud how this guy managed to get close enough to a witch to get the power.
Yeah. Leo and Natalie, while finishing each other's sentences, much to Piper's slight annoyance, say that the warlock might possess the power of cloning, but that he wouldn't be able to do it for very long.
Piper wishes she could finish Leo's sandwiches.
Yes. Leo says that they should look for the warlock to see if he has also stolen a cloning power.
And Prue does a really fun thing where she just says aloud, okay, cloning, cross-reference with warlock, and just flips her fingers over top of the book.
And it works.
Yeah, it works. We stop on a page that has a lovely watercolor rendition of Steve Valentine with his little like dagger cross necklace on.
Yep.
In a slightly different outfit, it looks like. That they just
slightly different.
Kind of cloaky, or honestly, it looks like a priest habit.
Yeah.
Just at a glance. I was like, oh, that's a priest outfit. And my brain assumes the dagger was a cross, and I'm like, okay, great. Yeah, that works out. Maybe he was incognito? What the fuck?
Yeah, who knows? So Natalie recognizes him, and we learn that the warlock's name is Ames. And it's spelled E-A-M-E-S.
As in the guy from Inception. Except then it was pronounced Eames, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I think that was the one that... J name, 3 name, also in Looper. What's his face?
Oh God, I can picture him.
Yeah. Oh fuck, we're gonna look it up.
Hold please. Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt. That's him.
Yeah,
Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Tom Hardy.
Yeah,
one of them was Eames.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure it was JGL.
I honestly don't remember. It's been a long time since I've seen that movie.
I just love hearing interviews of people mentioning him, and they just call him Joe. I'm just like, that's extremely casual. And of course, because he's one of those 3-name 90s child stars, I can't not do the 3 names.
Yeah.
It's just like people I know on Facebook. I have to do first and last name. If I get reintroduced to them IRL, I'm like, tell me your last name as it is on Facebook. Otherwise, I'm not gonna fucking remember you. This is the entire thing I do on both. People are like, "Hi, it's me, Elizabeth." I'm like, gotta give me a last name here.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to know it without the last name, and then I'll see your profile pic in my head, and then I will remember you. That's the way this works, guys.
Yep. Yeah. For me, when somebody changes their hair, I forget what they look like.
Yeah.
It screws with me.
Oh, you have a little bit of face blindness.
Not just a little, like a hair,
Just a
if
titch.
any.
A
hair,
touch.
if any. It's just
A
again,
scoosh.
a squoosh.
A scoosh.
A squish. No, it's just my brain is odd, and it has just slight little.
Well, there's
wiring
only one
quirks.
of them.
Yes.
There was a moment, guys, where her eyelids dropped a little bit when she realized the pun I was making, and then she started shaking her head. She's still shaking her head, by the way. For those of you not cued into the visual.
Yeah. Anyway.
All brains are odd, because there's only one of them per person.
Yeah.
Or sometimes 0.
But then they'd be even.
That 0 is not an even number. You can't divide 0. Being an even number means it can be divisible cleanly into 2. You cannot divide 0.
Just
therefore,
put a belt on it. It turns into an 8.
That's not dividing it.
It is if you cinch the belt hard enough. Anyway.
Then it just becomes colon.
Anyway.
Which colon? Powell, probably.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I love making your head shake. It's the best part of my week.
Oh, man. This episode gonna be great.
Anyway,
so
the first thing we learn about Eames is that he murdered a witch in Glasgow a decade before. I have to say Glasgow that way.
Sure.
Because I hear David Tennant in my head saying it like that, and I can't not follow David Tennant.
Sure.
Anyway, apparently a decade before, he killed a witch in Glasgow before stealing her power of cloning.
Yeah.
And that in Kenya, the year before...
Kenya, the year before the decade ago in Glasgow.
Yes.
So in Kenya in 89.
He got the power of, as Prue calls it, transmogrification.
Yeah. Which is the ability to change shape or form, which we learn from Leo and Natalie simultaneously.
I love the expressions on their faces when they're doing this simultaneous recitation of the definition of transmogrification, which is a sentence I love and want to have engraved on something. Where Natalie is looking sheepishly excited and Leo is looking sheepishly guilty.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like, they're both a little embarrassed, but Natalie is embarrassed in a positive way, like, I've missed us, like, getting together and hanging out. It's very nice. And Leo is guilty because Piper is witness to this particular thing.
Yeah. It's very interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, we are supposedly to assume that Grams has written this entry because she was the only one in possession of the book at that time.
And the only practicing witch of the Warren line. So unless the multiple people had access to this book, she's the only one that could have written this entry and drawn the picture.
We do know of at least one other person who probably had access to the book.
Who?
She got de-aged and then turned into ash.
Yeah, that's the only other thing that's the possibility is it's either Grams or someone in her coven.
What was that woman's name? All I can think of is Rashawn, which was her character from Star Trek The Next Generation. Which is funny because there's a Kevin Uxbridge reference in this episode. For me, at least.
Gale. Aunt Gale.
So Gale, probably, would have access. Whether or not she'd written it, don't know. She didn't really have any power, so I'm thinking not.
Yeah. Don't know.
Whatever.
Anyway, it doesn't really matter. It was just that was my thought process on the timing of things, is that it had to be either Grams or someone in her coven.
Yeah.
Putting this particular thing in the book.
Prue wants to know what Ames's master plan is, which surprises Natalie. Natalie didn't fucking think of that. She didn't think he'd have a master plan.
Yeah. But Prue says that it looks like he's killing with a strategy and not just for sport. Now, here's my question on that.
Doesn't sport involve strategy?
It does. But here's my question on that. I want to know how Prue comes to this conclusion. Because he killed a witch in 89 and another witch in 90.
But they were so far apart.
Right. That's the only way that she comes to this conclusion is he killed a witch in Kenya in 89 and then a year later was in Glasgow. to kill another witch.
And then
but then he
10 years
hasn't done
later-
a goddamn thing for 10 years.
And 10 years later, found a witch with the power of deflection to kill her. Now, if there's anything I've learned from Criminal Minds, it's that predators have a hunting ground. So, based on my limited knowledge of criminal profiling given to me by CBS and
many shows therein.
and Matthew Gray Googler, no, like it's I think it's just a confluence of, okay, they're such different powers. These people are so far apart. Which just means, like, sure, maybe he just happened to be in those places at those times, but, like, people are people of habit. People are people of habit. No, I don't like that
Life
phrase.
needs things to live.
People are creatures of habit.
I get that.
So, and, I'm sorry, but, warlocks are a sort of people. They're an evil sort of people. They should not be tolerated. But they are people nonetheless. They're gonna have habits. And old habits, as Bruce Willis would say, die hard.
Yes. I think for me it's just the questioning because it's been a decade.
It has been a decade.
And that's the question of like he has this master plan because he waited a decade to kill another witch?
I mean, that belies patience.
It was just odd to me. Just a little bit.
I find it interesting that it would be known that he killed these 3 specific witches when, as we can tell, the magical communities are a bit insular and not terribly well connected.
Yeah.
And they don't travel very far. We literally never go outside of a 30-mile radius from San Francisco in this fucking show.
Yeah.
We never do it. Unless you count hell or the underworld or whatever the fuck you call it. Or, up there. Mm-hmm. I don't count those as physical distances.
Yeah, no.
They're metaphysical distances. They're less than 30 miles. Let's just call it that. Mm-hmm. So, like, how would you really know about witches killed in Scotland and Kenya? That's fascinating to me.
Yeah.
And they did not do the proper world building for us to understand that. But yeah, I can... Especially for TV, I can see Prue drawing that conclusion.
Right. I think that's the biggest thing is
because also, let's look at it.
It's a fast track way to get the story continuing.
Uh-huh. And, if I'm not mistaken, these all appear to be defensive powers. Deflection. Mm-hmm. Transmogrification, which is disguise, which is a form of defense.
Right.
And cloning, which is obfuscation.
Right.
Therefore, another form of defense.
Right.
Warlocks, not terribly defensive.
No.
Very offensive. Mm. So you'd think they'd be going for something like telekinesis or psychokinesis. Hi, Max. Or like fireballs or some shit. He already has fireballs, granted, but like we don't know if he stole that from someone. Although I think not.
I don't think so. I think that's
maybe that
warlock.
was his innate power. But like blinking is generally a warlock's defense.
Right.
And because they're evil, they're going to be going on the offense more. So I see various defensive strategies employed. Like, he's looking for various defensive strategies because he's looking to go on a particular offense. And he's shoring up previously.
It could be. It was just, for me, it was just a slightly interesting a la convenience.
Yeah, it is that. It's very it's very TV leap in judgment.
Yeah,
I'll
exactly.
definitely grant you that.
Yeah.
And a few other things besides.
Yeah. Anyway, so they figure that they either need to figure out what his plan is before they can catch him, or they have to take him out before he can go through with whatever it is.
Natalie wants to talk shop with Leo and asks the girls to go into another room. And Piper I can see Piper's face go, bitch, not in my house.
Yeah, so she asked to talk to Leo privately and asked the girls to go in the other room. I wonder why, in this same episode, since they have just shown us that they have this clicky-clack language that the girls can't understand, why they don't just speak in that.
I think it serves the plot more to show that Natalie is uninterested in the opinions of the girls.
It's partly that, and it's also set up for later.
True.
It's the only, it's set up for a reverse joke later.
Yeah. But anyway.
Piper decides that freezing Natalie is a better idea And so, of course, she freezes Natalie. Leo asks what she's doing, and Piper says she's getting irritated.
And wonders why Lady Attitude is in charge.
Leo says that she's not in charge, that she's just trying to help. And Prue wonders how slowing them down and second-guessing them is helping, and I kind of agree with her.
I kind of agree.
Leo says that Natalie is one of the top Whitelighters up there, and that caution and organization aren't bad things to have.
Technically true.
Mm-hmm. Prue reminds him that they already have a Whitelighter, and that she doesn't like anyone who doesn't trust them.
And Leo correctly informs them that they don't know her very well. He knows her much better. She's just cautious. She just lost a charge. Doesn't want to lose them too. And because he knows her, he obviously knows all of this.
Right.
So he asks Piper to unfreeze Natalie, and Piper does the joyously petty thing of walking out of the room before doing it behind her back as she is exiting.
Yeah.
And this was done, like, great practically, because they don't switch to the shot of Piper on the other side of Natalie leaving the room until she is doing the hand motion, at which point, standing still...
Yeah.
What's her face?
Natalie?
No, I'm trying to think of the actress's name.
Oh.
Starts with an A. I know you said it earlier. I've just already forgotten it because brain. Yeah.
Audrey,
yeah. Who's right? It did start with an I. So Audrey's just standing still and then gets to, a second later, get cued, like, off camera.
Yeah.
Okay, now you can move. And she does a great surprised face. I love it.
Yeah, she like, looks in front of her, realizes that Piper has disappeared from where she was just sitting, and is like, what is going on? Leo just kind of looks and goes, I have to go talk to Piper, and he runs out.
Yeah. And then Prue, sitting with her hands in between her legs, with the cutest little fucking grin on her face, goes, Piper froze ya!
Yeah.
And Natalie's like, what? Yup.
Yeah, it was cute. It was super
There's some
cute.
great gifts of this, too.
Yeah, it's super duper cute. So we then cut to the kitchen as Leo walks in, and they start having a conversation, not looking at each other.
Yeah, Piper's just leaning up against the kitchen island, facing the opposite of the door.
Yeah, she's like facing toward the window, and he walks up behind her, and she doesn't turn around.
And he decides that now is the point to make a callback to episode 110.
Wicca Envy.
Back before they knew he was a Whitelighter, and I'm very intrigued that he knew about this happening.
Well, I mean,
granted, we did have discussions to the effect of he knows he's being frozen and just continues the conversation and then picks it back up when he gets unfrozen, because I think there was that one time when he was just doing that.
Yeah.
And that was before they knew about him.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's the fact that because he basically doesn't stop talking. He comes in the middle of a sentence that's further along.
And apparently, according to their love life, he comes in the middle of being frozen.
Anyway.
Oh, not even a head shake?
No.
Really?
Nope.
I'm on point today, though.
Nope. Anyway.
He tells Piper that, freezing him in bed for her own personal pleasure is totally kosher.
Yeah. But that freezing Natalie isn't going to make her or the elders happy. And I do believe this is the first time that they have mentioned the elders by that name.
Maybe second. It's definitely at the beginning of them calling this. Because otherwise they just refer to my bosses or whatever.
Right, but I think the term the elders, this is the first time we've heard that.
I feel like maybe we heard it once before, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. Anyway, doesn't matter. But now we know that they're called the elders. Mm-hmm. Piper says that she isn't happy that he's able to talk with Natalie about stuff that she can't know about.
He asks if she's jealous and then does this, bouncy affectation about, it's not like that.
Yeah. And she says that she's only jealous that she can't know about his work stuff. She basically repeats herself.
And Leo's like, but you've been up there before. She's like, I didn't get to remember that, dude.
Yeah, because of the stupid rules, I don't remember any of it. And she says that the one thing that she's learned as a Halliwell is to not keep secrets from the people you love.
Cue Phoebe walking in the back door.
Yeah, she asks if she's interrupting something. Piper says yes, and Leo says no, simultaneously, much to the chagrin of everyone in the room. And then Piper asks how it went with Reese.
Phoebe's like, well, at least he's not a demon. And then asks to talk to Leo. Piper says, take a number.
Yeah. Leo says that she should go meet Natalie. Phoebe, of course, then asks who that is. Piper starts to say she's
She closes in on the F sound.
Yeah.
The dental fricative. And Leo finishes her sentence with fellow Whitelighter.
Yeah,
Piper kind of under her breath goes, that's not what I was going to say.
Yeah. Which does kind of make me wonder what she was going to say.
Fucking bitch.
That was my thought. Yeah.
Fucking a-hole. Something with fuck.
Yep.
Freaking pain in my ass.
That
would have been more PG.
Yep. Phoebe, of course, grins and then heads out of the kitchen, leaving Leo and Piper standing there awkwardly. Mm-hmm. It was kind of adorable.
We cut back to the conservatory, aka the Wicker Room. Mm-hmm. You copy-pasted that, which is why it's not the Wicker Room.
Yep. I was going to say, if it ever says conservatory, that's because it was already in the thing.
Yep, which is why it's correct.
Yep.
Prue's scrying with a lovely crystal.
And that brings our scrying tally to 2 for the season and 4 for the series.
Which you have already tallied on our handy-dandy sheet.
Indeed, I have. Mm-hmm. Natalie says that she's wasting her time because you can't scry for warlocks. And Prue's like, that's a thing we've now learned. Yeah.
Prue says, good thing I'm scrying for your witch's power and not the warlock, because that actually works.
Yep, because the power is still technically alive.
Phoebe walks in just as we hear the lovely magnety noise of the crystal
whacking itself.
Honing in. Well, no, that's a tap. This is like the like thing. Like, I can't even reproduce it.
Yeah.
Because it's so artificial. But like, Phoebe walks in right at that point. And Prue's like, okay, Ames is in San Francisco in the South Industrial District. Now, I'm sure if we checked where the crystal landed on the map against our actual maps, that might not be the Industrial District. Because as we know, the show, not great with continuity.
Yep. I did not check.
I'm impressed at your restraint.
I know, right?
Or did you just forget?
No, I I didn't.
Okay.
I
am duly
It.
impressed.
Yep. I decided against it. So Phoebe questions her. Prue says that she'll be filled in on the way and calls out for Piper and Leo.
Except she does it Piper Leo.
Yeah.
Like they're one unit.
Like Fitzsimmons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Natalie is concerned that they're going to go after him with no preparation. And then Phoebe picks up the athame that's on the table.
And has a premonition of Ames killing a bald guy in a black suit.
Right.
Calls him a male witch, but question mark.
Yeah. Killing him with a fireball, because that's what he do. Mm-hmm. So when she comes out of the premonition, she tells Prue what she saw, and Piper and Leo walk in, and Prue says that it's 3 against 1.
Leo reminds her of the cloning.
And Prue says that only makes it 3 against 2, so the odds are still in their favor.
And they have the element of surprise.
Yeah.
Where's that on the periodic table? I ask you.
Natalie says that they have to consult the elders. Piper wonders if doing that would take too much time and get another witch killed. Natalie says that Ames might be wanting to kill the charmed ones because he could do a lot of damage with their powers.
True.
And Prue says that she should totally go check with the elders.
So Natalie kind of straightens her suit and says, I'll be back as soon as possible. And this, another great practical effect. They're doing a lot of these lately, where you see Phoebe look a little bit away. Natalie orbs up. I was about to say beams up, but this is not Star Trek. Orbs up. And then, clearly, what Audrey has done is literally walk out of the room while Alyssa is just standing still, and they just paused it for a sec. Yeah. And then let it run out, and now she's gone, and they move again. There was no, cut. There was no, obvious CGI-ing other than the actual orbing.
Yeah, there wasn't, an obvious green screen effect. It was a practical
I like when they do practical.
Yeah, it was quite nice.
Because green screen doesn't work, and wire work is a misnomer.
Yeah. Anyway, so Phoebe asks if they're supposed to wait, and Prue's like, no, I just said that to get rid of her. Which I just loved.
Yeah. And Leo tells them that consulting with the elders is for their own protection.
And Piper says that siding with them is for his.
She and Prue both grin.
Yeah, it was super funny.
And we get another undercranked helicopter shot over the water.
Yeah, it goes toward the buildings, and we get a lovely glimpse of the Triangle Building before
Transamerica Pyramid.
Yeah. We then cut to Ames chanting in fake Latin.
Yes, it is fake Latin.
Behind some, like, crates and something, and he's in, like,
Lorem ipsum, admitum venium, hippopotamus.
Hippopotamus.
Powder puppy pals, guys.
Yeah. So the girls and Leo screech up in what I'm assuming is Piper's SUV.
Yeah.
Though I could have sworn she was back to the green one and this one looked black. It's
no one's working continuity on this show.
I know. It's
it, and yet you keep expecting. We are too optimistic. We are too optimistic.
Yep. Anyway, as soon as she's out of the car, Prue flings Ames into some, like, barrels with her power. Leo has put back on his gray jacket. Phoebe has added a red jacket to her outfit. Prue has added a black leather jacket to hers, and Piper has donned, like, an ivory cream type jacket.
Could have sworn it was kind of pink. Like a very light pink.
It was either ivory or cream. It was some shade of off-white.
Light pink is off-white.
No, light pink is off-red.
Anything not white is off-white.
Anyway.
He gets back up. Prue tells Piper to freeze him, but he deflects it and then disappears in that kind of, like, after image fade. Yeah, it was like that orange after image fade. It was a slight
puff of smoke kind of thing, but, like, not like actual smoke.
No, you know what it was? It was like when Prue's astral projection fades out. That's what that looked like to me.
But even less so.
A little shorter, but it was still, like, just kind of an after image sort of thing. Because, like, he does a black smoke thing later. It was not that.
Right.
It was not like a puff of smoke. It was just like a fade out.
Yeah.
But, like, with orange outlining.
Yeah, a little bit.
Anyway.
Leo says that he must have been a clone, which means that the real Ames is around somewhere.
Yeah, Piper thinks maybe they should leave, but Prue's like, no, we gotta remember the witch from Phoebe's premonition.
Prue asks what he looked like, and Phoebe says that he was kinda balding. And then a man, who happens to be kinda balding, appears.
In those lovely, inverted Whitelighter orbs that we know as Darklighter orbs. Which is funny, because they have a glow around them before the actual orbs appear, which for a split second makes you think a Whitelighter is coming.
Yeah.
And then the black-blue orbs come up.
Yeah.
They could have done better with this effect, honestly.
A little bit. He asks why he's been summoned, and Leo realizes, just as a crossbow appears in Baldy's hand, that he is a Darklighter. So let me tell ya. Our Darklighter is played by Graham Shields. That is spelled like Shields without the D.
Yeah.
It's Shields.
Oh, he's a eunuch?
Jesus Christ.
I'm on point. I'm doing great today.
Oh, man. He was born... I can't even...
like Shields, but he's got no D.
Yeah. He was born in Toronto, Ontario, Canada in 1970. He started acting back in 2001, with this episode of Charmed being his second gig, and he'll actually be back next season playing a different character. So we'll tell you about him again then. I actually recognized this actor from a couple of episodes of True Blood that he was on, where he played a vampire named Liam, as well as an episode of Leverage that he was on.
Shrug, I don't recognize him.
That's all right. You haven't gotten to that episode of Leverage yet.
Okay.
That's like season 5 of Leverage.
Yeah, we aren't there yet.
No.
Anyway, Piper yells at Leo to get out. He does the lovely Darklighter arrow, goes right through his orbs.
Yep.
But at the head level, not the orb level. And Phoebe kicks the crossbow out of his hand, then kicks him.
Yeah, kicks the dude, and then Piper, like, freezes him in midair for some reason. I'm still not exactly sure why.
Because she could.
Yeah.
Because it gets them time to then do this next little bit of, hey, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
So they all look at each other and they're all very confused. And then, on the other side of this alcove, I'm going to call it, full of boxes, Ames pops up sitting on one of them.
Yeah. Just as Piper wonders why this Darklighter is here.
Yeah. And he thanks them He says, "Oh, have I missed all the fun?" And then fireballs the Darklighter, blinks over to the crossbow that's just laying on the ground, picks it up, thanks them for their time, and blinks the fuck out.
And we go to commercial break, because of course we do.
Mm-hmm.
When we come back from the commercial, we see Prue, Piper, and Phoebe walking into the manor. Leo is, of course, waiting for them. He asks if they got the Darklighter. Piper says that Ames killed him, and Phoebe mentions that Ames also took the crossbow. Leo wondered why evil is killing evil.
I mean, infighting.
Yeah. Prue wonders why he had no interest in attacking them and why he was so cocky about it.
Speaking of cocky, Natalie orbs in and says, "Oh good, you're still here.
Yeah.
The elders want you to wait. They think the dude in Phoebe's premonition is actually a force of darkness."
Yeah. Prue says that they know it was a Darklighter, and Piper mentions that they know that because they went, they saw,
and they didn't quite conquer.
Natalie asks Leo how he could let this happen.
Prue valiantly defends him by saying, "This was our decision."
Not his, yeah. Natalie reminds them that the warlock could have killed them, and Piper says,
"Oh, he wasn't after us."
yeah. Natalie says that just makes them lucky, not smart, and calls them reckless.
She's not wrong.
Very true.
She says that they have a higher calling to serve the greater good.
And then Leo and Natalie get the Whitelighter call, and Leo tells the girls to lay low until they get back. And then Natalie takes his hand with both of hers as they orb out together.
It's just bizarre.
It was a
They do
bit.
that. They can aim.
Yeah, it was a little weird, and Piper wonders why they're holding hands, but Phoebe says that finding and vanquishing Ames is their priority, and, you know, it kind of gets dropped at that point and never brought up again.
Mm-hmm. Prue realizes that scrying on him, again, might only get them to his clone, because it's only where the powers are working, and if he can clone himself, he can use powers in multiple locations at the same time.
Right. Piper still thinks that figuring out what his master plan could be is their best bet.
Phoebe says she'll take book duty.
Prue says she'll make a flowchart.
And Piper says she'll help if it means getting rid of her.
Phoebe thinks that she meant to say him, but Piper said what she meant.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I love flowcharts. Some of, like, the best memes are flowcharts. My favorite flowchart is the engineering flowchart.
Okay.
I'm putting a picture of it on the website.
Oh, please show me.
It is...
Oh, yeah!
It is engineering flowchart. At the top it says, does it move? And then it branches off into no and yes. And the no side...
says, should it? Actually, both sides say, should it?
Yeah. But...
On the no side...
On the no side...
For the no option, beer. On the yes option, WD-40.
And if WD-40 doesn't work, it says, does it still not move? You have a hammer. And on the yes side, on the should it, if it's supposed to move and it does, beer. On the no side, duct tape. And if it still moves after the duct tape, glue. And then, if it's good enough, beer.
Yep.
Which is just great.
I've only seen this as a binary where the only options are WD-40 and duct tape. There's no beer.
Well.
So there's less. There's not even a hammer or glue. It's just, does it move? No. Should it? Yes. WD-40? No. Duct tape.
Yeah. Yeah. It was funny to me. I'm like, the engineering flowchart is my favorite meme in the flowchart memes.
It's good.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway,
Walks into the conservatory
and
and sits down at the table.
Yeah, she starts flipping through the Book of Shadows and stops at the page about Balthazar and wonders aloud what she's going to do about him.
And stares up at the ceiling where we transition into some white mist and cloudies.
Yeah, we kind of go from like a white mist into like blue sky and clouds back to mist. And then we see Leo standing next to a bunch of pillars while people walk around in white robes with these like over elaborate hoods.
It's not that they're over elaborate, it's just that they're fucking giant.
Yeah.
These giant rigid hoods.
Yeah, it kind
and there's
of
lights shining out. There's like a glow where
there's a glow where the faces are. It kind of reminded me, now this
The Jawas?
No, this came out before Doctor Who, but it kind of reminded me of the episode of Doctor Who with the headless monks.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't have gone
because
there.
they had the hoods that are just up, and like there's nothing holding them up.
I was thinking, speaking of memes, I was thinking of the it's like the second episode of the new series with Eccleston where they go to watch the Earth burn up, and there's the like Order of the Susurrating Meme or something, the repeating meme. I don't know, something like that. But it's like the Bitchy Trampoline's like cover story. She's got these robots that hand out the silver balls that have the little tiny spider bots in them.
I vaguely remember that.
And they've got like claw hands.
See, there's
and
only
they've got these hoods up so you
things.
can't see their faces, and they just like present this gift.
Yeah,
whatever.
There's only a few things that I remember from that episode.
You remember the Bitchy Trampoline though, right?
Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I mean,
she's a great Quidditch teacher.
Yeah.
I
mean, who wouldn't remember the Bitchy Trampoline?
Yeah. Moisturize me.
Yes. I still love my favorite part in that is when he blows on the tree lady.
I give you air from my lungs.
How intimate. I just love that so much. Anyway, sorry, back to this show.
Natalie, Leo is, wearing his regular clothes. Natalie walks up wearing a robe, drops the hood,
and says that the elders are worried about what Ames is up to, and then notices that Leo is still in his jeans and sweater and asks if he's going to change because the rules dictate.
Yeah. And he's like, I know the rules. I feel more comfortable.
Yeah, I feel my jeans are more comfortable. She says that his attitude scares her and that she's concerned about what's happening with the girls. And they do this like little walk and talk through this lovely white mist.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot of dry ice up in there.
It's a really quiet fog machine.
Yeah. But anyway, Leo tells Natalie that she hasn't seen them at their best. They're very talented.
Yeah. She says that they're sloppy, untrained, emotional, and then Leo finishes her sentence with undisciplined, I know.
And he continues to say, no, that's what makes them great. You see this as a weakness, but it's actually a strength.
Yep.
They're able to work on instinct and passion.
Natalie thinks that they are too impulsive by leading with their hearts and not their heads, and she also thinks that Leo does that, and his feelings for them might be clouding his ability to see their weaknesses.
And he's like, dude, they fucking took out Balthazar. That shows that their weaknesses aren't too bad. And she's like, excuse me, how the fuck did he get that close? Clearly, that's a fault of their weaknesses.
Yeah. She starts to say something about his relationship with Piper, which he says is none of her business. And then we learn that it actually is, because the elders have asked her if she thinks that his relationship with Piper is getting in the way of his job.
And then we hear someone calling up from below. To me, it kind of sounded like Piper, but it was distorted. It's Phoebe.
Yeah.
And he's like, excuse me, exposition, charges call takes precedence.
Yep.
Gotta go.
Yep. He orbs out, and then Natalie, pulls her hood back up with
I do not like these fucking robes.
Yeah.
Mostly for the rigid hood, because whenever they put it down, it tends to list to one side or the other, and it pulls the collar up. And it's just a bad idea.
Yeah. Though I really badly, if anyone knows where I can find one, I want one. Because I would abso-fucking-lutely cosplay that shit.
They're like a lovely sand color, and they're kind of sparkly.
A little bit.
Like they're crushed velvet. Well, not crushed, but like they're velvety.
Mm.
Like they're velvety. That's what that sparkle translates to me as. It's tough to tell with the mist.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I would absolutely wear that as a cosplay.
Mm-hmm, that'd be fun.
Just hook in a little LED light so when the hood is up, there's a light that shines. Mm-hmm. Be great. I'd absolutely wear that. Anyway.
Or, one of those LED, tape strip thingies. And then just, put it around the back of the hood so it's like you've got a halo back there.
Yeah, maybe.
Battery pack in, a pocket in the back.
Yeah. Anyway, we cut to Phoebe's bedroom as she calls out for Leo again.
She's getting pissed, too, because he's not there yet.
He orbs in behind her, apologizing for forgetting that she needed to speak to him and startling her in the process. It was kind of funny.
She confirms that all of this is covered by Whitelighter Witch confidentiality, and then asks about
the elders being able to eavesdrop. And he's like, dude, what's up?
Yeah. So she grabs him, sits him down on the bed.
Yeah, she pulls him to the bed. It was very funny.
And then sits down next to him and tells him...
gathers her courage.
Yeah. Cole is still alive. And for a half second you can see him going oh, you're joking. And then,
Yeah.
like, you're not joking.
Yeah, he's totally in disbelief.
Yeah, she explains she totally meant to kill him.
But she just couldn't bring herself to do it once she was face to face with him. So she faked his death so that her sisters wouldn't kill him.
And she says that she just knew that he wouldn't hurt them. And she loves him. And she's like, Leo, you understand forbidden love. And he backs up.
Yeah,
This is exactly the thing you should do when a neo-Nazi says, I agree with you. You get up, you walk away. You are done.
Yes.
That's his reaction.
Yes.
A demon, I love a demon. You should get what I mean because forbidden love. And you're like, oh, the fuck no, this is not the same at all.
No. He absolutely, gets to his feet with disgust, saying it's not even close to being the same thing. Because, demon. Mm-hmm. Phoebe, of course, then reminds Leo that Cole is half human.
And
but
Leo's
Leo is like, he's a killer.
People.
Yeah, he's killed a shit ton of witches.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck?
Chappaquiddick, baby.
Yeah. Leo wonders... Jesus Christ. Leo wonders how she knows that Cole isn't going to come back and kill them.
Phoebe's like, I know he's good. He's like, no. You hope he's good.
Yeah.
Why did you fucking tell me?
Yeah. She says that she was counting on his guidance and support, but he says that that's what got them into this mess and he has no idea how to fix it.
And he walks off. He's a very bad therapist.
Yeah, a bit. He walks out of the room and we see her kind of stare off into space before we cut to Leo in the hall, where he grabs his stomach and groans out in pain. And we cut back to Phoebe as she's hearing this and she runs out into the hall.
There was a lovely eyebrow movement at one point before she gets up off the bed.
Yeah. And we can now see that Phoebe, as she runs into the hall, is actually wearing black pants, and the skirt that she was wearing is a mini skirt over said black pants, thus continuing the tradition.
But modifying it from the previously utilized wrap skirt, which had always been clearly a very different material. This matches her shirt.
Yep.
So, slight difference,
yep,
but very on theme for Phoebe.
Yep.
Very in character, as it were.
Indubitably.
Anyway.
Leo says that he can feel the pain of a witch being hurt, but that it's not one of his charges.
Prue and Piper run up and ask what happened.
And then we do a quick jump cut over to Ames, stabbing a witch in a clearing surrounded by, small trees or bushes or whatever.
And she's, sitting on the ground with her legs out forward.
Yep.
And he's stabbing her, in the fucking chest.
Yep.
In the sternum.
Yeah.
And then back to Leo.
He just says, she needs help. And then we, jump back to Ames because, of course, we do. But so this witch is played by LaShawn Anderson. She has no picture on IMDb. She only has 5 acting credits. Just before this episode of Charmed, she was on a single episode of the soap opera The Bold and the Beautiful in 2000. And then didn't have another gig until 2012, where she was on 3 episodes of a show called Bite Me, a small spot in a College Humor original, and then a small part in the 2015 movie The Challenger, which is apparently about a boxer. That's the extent of her IMDb.
I mean, hey. That's a career.
Yep. So we cut back to Ames. He's telling this witch that he just stabbed her and that he didn't kill her because he's not after her powers. He's after her Whitelighter.
Except he stabbed her in the chest. That's...
Yeah.
Even if you've just nicked the aorta, she ain't got long. That would probably actually kill her before her Whitelighter gets there. Why didn't he do a gut shot?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because, sure, sepsis will kill you, but not that quickly.
Yeah.
It'll take a couple of days, probably. Or a day at least. You've got, more than an hour. But you stab someone in the chest like that, especially in the center of the chest, you're gonna nick something really important. It's probably gonna be heart-related. And you're not very long for this world.
I think it was more... He didn't want to steal her powers, but he didn't care if she died.
Well, yeah.
He was just hoping that her Whitelighter would show up.
But, chest stabby, too quick.
Yeah, a little bit.
Unless you go for, the side, because then you can, get a lung and make that collapse. And that's very painful. But not immediately fatal.
True.
Also very debilitating, but not immediately fatal.
Yeah. Anyway, we cut back to the manor as Piper asks why the witch's Whitelighter isn't helping her.
He doesn't know.
Yeah. Leo says that he doesn't know, but he has to go help, and he starts to orb out.
But then Prue reaches out a hand and stops him. He's like, wait, why didn't we realize?
Yeah.
Exposition line, he wants a Whitelighter.
Yeah, that Ames killed the Darklighter to get the crossbow so he could kill the Whitelighter. And then Natalie orbs in and immediately says that Prue was right about it being a trap. So we've now seen it established twice that the orbing process does not stop them from knowing what's happening. That they can hear things while they're orbing. They know what's happening in the midst of the orb.
This has happened before where
but this is
Leo
absolutely
has orbed in and confirmed something at the moment of orbing.
But this was absolutely
it's inconsistent, I will admit.
Yeah, it is. It is inconsistent.
Sometimes they orb in not knowing anything, but that's usually just oh hey. But he's admitted that he can listen in on stuff.
Yeah, it was just that
watch
this was very much like Prue has literally just finished a sentence.
Yeah,
Natalie was like, "Yep, she's right."
She was orbiting in on the tail of it too.
Yeah. Anyway, Natalie says that the only way in to up there is by orbing, so killing a Whitelighter would get him that power, and then he could decimate all of the Whitelighters. Phoebe realizes that this would leave all of the witches in the world unprotected, and that Ames would be able to kill them all.
All witches, everywhere, just like the Husnak.
The what?
Star Trek.
Okay.
Again, with the, No, okay, so, mentioning Gale earlier, she was in the one episode of... Well, she was in several episodes of Star Trek, but she was in one where her hubby is an alien who has, godly powers, and because the Husnak killed his wife, he killed all Husnak everywhere. Just fucking genocided them like that. So, yeah, all witches everywhere, just like the Husnak.
Okay. Because that's not excessive at all.
No, it's not.
Natalie says that the elders have locked down all Whitelighters except for her and Leo so that they can help the girls stop Ames.
Orb locked down, the orb locked down.
Leo realizes that he feels the witch's pain because all of the other Whitelighters are up there, and he basically is like, if you could feel this, you'd understand.
And Natalie's like, Natalie, I do feel it. I have better pain tolerance than you.
She says that she feels it, but that she won't be ruled by it, and that a Whitelighter who's controlled by their emotions is useless. And I wanted to punch her in the face. I've been just kind of slightly annoyed by her all this time.
On one hand, I'm like, she's right.
Dude.
She's definitely right at this point. But also she's being kind of annoying about it.
She's being a condescending bitch at this moment. And that's why it's just like, dude, shut your face.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of, I understand it, but, it's still that annoyance factor.
Mm-hmm.
We cut back to Ames and
her
the
bed
witch.
manner could use some work.
Her bedside manner?
Yeah, her bed manner.
Her bed manner?
Her bed manner.
Her bed manner.
That's what I'm calling that from now on.
Sure. We cut back to Ames and the witch, who is lying in pain on the ground.
Good hurt acting.
Yeah.
Much better than Pierce Brosnan.
Okay.
Have you seen him in James Bond movies?
Not since they came out.
It's a thing of beauty.
All right.
But anyway, he's just kind of crouching nearby, showing off his long, gangly legs.
Yeah.
And his elbows in that silk shirt.
Yeah. He's waiting with the crossbow. He's getting bored. And she says that they're probably onto him by now, and he agrees, and he realizes that that means that they're probably going to send witches after him, so he no longer needs this one.
And he's a great line that I love. After 10 years of chasing the dream's chasing me! And he kind of giggles.
Yeah, a little bit.
Uh-huh.
So he goes to stab her again, and we cut away before we actually see him do so. We cut back to the manor.
He goes to stab her in the gut. The first place he should have stabbed her. This one should have been the chest wound.
Yeah.
He did that backwards. But then again, this is a PG-rated show. So maybe. That's just how they had to do it.
Kobe.
Anyway, we cut back to the manor. Everyone's coming down the stairs. They're on that last little leg after the first landing.
Yeah. We hear
and Leo
in over No.
Overdub.
Overdub. We hear the witch scream, and then
And
Leo
screams.
Yeah, Leo, like, stumbles down the stairs.
Like, collapses against the banister a bit.
Yeah. Piper calls out for him, and Natalie asks what's wrong, and Leo says he killed her, and Prue asks what Natalie's rule book says they're supposed to do now.
Let me go to commercial break.
Uh-huh.
We come back to
yeah.
Phoebe grabbing some mugs out of that it's not a cabinet, but it's like that place where they sometimes have the spices on the wall, where there's like shelves.
Yeah.
Shelves backed by beadboard. It's a lovely aesthetic.
It is. So she grabs 3 mugs to get coffee for all the girls.
She's annoyed that Natalie let the witch die. Prue says, oh, we've got to work on this vanquishing spell. But Phoebe's like, oh, that'll be tricky. Don't we have to counteract, like, a lot of powers here?
Yeah, which I think is the first time that they've mentioned that the vanquishing spells counteract the power in that way.
Well,
like, we kind of hear it when they say it, but it's just interesting.
They didn't do that with Jeremy, though.
No,
like, we knew he'd
they
stolen powers.
Yeah.
Because that's what a warlock do.
Right, but with Jeremy, they had the power of 3 spell, and that's all they really used. Which part of me is like, why don't they just use the power of 3 spell, like, all the fucking time, if it seems to work indiscriminately?
That wouldn't help with narrative tension.
No, and it wouldn't give us some fun lines.
No, it wouldn't.
Anyway, Piper says that they have to be fast because she doesn't like her boyfriend being one of the only 2 targets on Earth. The end part of this scene is kind of funny to me because we see Prue put cream into her and Piper's mugs of coffee, and we see Phoebe go to take a sip of the coffee, and then we cut to the girls walking into the living room where Leo and Natalie are, and Phoebe's the only one still holding her mug of coffee.
Uh-huh.
Like...
Continuity. What continuity?
Well, no, like, I understand it could have possibly been, like, a small time shift, because they were giving them time, and the girls sat in the kitchen for a few minutes and drank their coffee, and Piper and Prue maybe finished their coffee faster than Phoebe did, but it was just very funny to me that it was like, we see her pour cream, and then they don't even pick them up to sip them. It was just weird to me. Anyway, we now get the callback line, which is the only reason why this line happened in the beginning is so we could have the mirrored callback to it, where Piper asks Natalie to go into another room so they can speak to Leo alone.
Or so they can thumbs backward.
Yes.
Because that's the move she does. She, like, snaps and does the thumbs. The double thumbs.
Yes.
It was very cute, I thought.
Yeah.
But yeah, Natalie tells them that if it's work-related, they can discuss it with her.
Which confuses Piper.
Because as it turns out, Leo tells them, he has made her their Whitelighter.
Yeah. Because apparently his being there is putting them at risk.
Oh, no.
Piper's still a bit confused, but Leo reminds her that he would have rushed into a trap had they not stopped him. And that,
they can't...
I'm supposed to be guiding you and you're guiding me. And they can't afford to be making these mistakes right now.
Yeah. Phoebe starts to ask about if it's because of her, which makes both of her sisters look at her weird, like, hey, Phoebe, maybe not the time.
Because they don't know what's going on.
Yeah, they don't. And Leo's like, no, this is about me. My feelings
It's not
might be...
you, it's me.
Except in this case, it definitely is. Because he says his feelings are clouding his judgment.
Mm-hmm. Leo walks over to Piper and tells her that they want him to join the lockdown and, asks that she do whatever Natalie says because, quote, it's important for us, unquote.
Mm-hmm.
And then he and Piper kiss and he orbs out during the kiss.
Again.
Still annoying.
Very.
Mm-hmm. Prue and Piper and Phoebe all kind of stare at Natalie with a bit of anger in their eyes. And Natalie suggests that they channel their anger toward the warlock they're supposed to be fighting.
And when Prue asks for some processing time, Natalie's like, no, you don't get time. We gotta stop focusing on aims, not yourselves. Prepare you mentally, physically, sartorially. And Piper snorts.
Piper snorts, and Phoebe's like, what does that mean? And
Piper says, oh, Natalie doesn't like our clothes.
Yeah, so the definition of sartorial is of or relating to a tailor or tailored clothes. So Piper knows her words.
That's where I learned this word.
Yep. And then we get my favorite exchange so far this episode. Natalie says they need outfits that are loose and move, which means no more braless, strapless, fearless attire.
And then I love Shannon's face during this. She kind of like looks to the side and like tucks her chin a little, and she's like, and then does like an innocent baby face and goes, "Well, then I have nothing to wear."
Yes, it was so deadpan perfect.
It was. It was very comedic.
Perfect.
And very true, as we know from Prue's wardrobe.
Yes.
There's maybe a couple of sweaters she could wear.
Yeah.
Only a couple, though. None of that tube top shit.
We then cut to a fast, shaky helicopter shot over the Oakland Bay Bridge during sunset. And then we see Natalie and the girls in an alley.
Yeah.
Which kind of looks like they're back in that same industrial area, whatever. Natalie has changed her gray suit jacket for a black zip-up hoodie. Piper is in a 3/4 sleeve green top and greenish gray pants. Her hair is wrapped in a ponytail, and the pattern on the leather wrap is snakeskin.
Aw, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Prue is in a very low cut, short sleeve camo top, like huge scoop neck with green pants.
And her hair has been pulled up into like this half up, half down do with like fringe, lovely bangs.
And we can tell she's wearing a pink lacy bra because the tops of the bra are peeking out at the bottom of the scoop neck.
She also appears to be chewing gum, which I thought was kind of funny, and I totally thought was gonna like something was gonna be said about it, but nothing was.
And honestly, her boobs look great.
Her boobs look amazing.
Oh my god, that's a great bra.
Yeah. Huh.
Anyway, when she wears a bra, she wears good bras. Wear it more often, please, and thank you.
Yeah. Phoebe.
That's thank you to all the viewers. You're welcome.
Yes. Phoebe is in a long sleeve white top, so she's the only one not wearing a shade of green up top, that has a 3-button collar that's unbuttoned, and green pants that are almost the exact same color as Prue's green pants, which all of their shades of green are like shades of army green. They're all like an olive drab kind of green. And Phoebe's shirt seems like it's been pulled down a little bit in the back so that her stomach is showing in the front.
That's how she like.
Yeah. And her hair is like pulled into like a messy ponytail with some little tiny braids. And all of the girls are wearing sensible shoes.
Including Natalie, who is wearing white sneakers.
Yeah. Prue is in sneakers, but
she's still wearing her dress pants.
Yeah.
But white sneakers.
Yeah. I think that, I know Piper's shoes had a bit of a heel, and I think Phoebe's did as well.
Yeah, I think Prue was wearing
But
something
Prue
on the
was
order
wearing
of, like,
sneakers.
combat.
No,
yeah, they were sneakers.
Prue
they were
was
a
in
weird
sneakers.
color, I thought.
Yeah, Prue was in sneakers. But yeah. So Natalie is like turned away from them. They're all doing stretches. And Prue wants a reminder about why they're doing this.
Honestly, it looks like they're doing yoga.
A little bit. They were kind of just doing,
Yeah.
limber up stretches.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. So Prue wants a reminder about why they're doing this. Piper says that one bad word from General Goody Two-Shoes means that she's not getting married. And Prue thinks that this is a good enough reason.
The irony of Piper calling someone a goody two-shoes is not lost on me.
Yeah.
I mean, General Tight-Ass would have been a little more in character.
Yeah.
But goody two-shoes? Piper. Drink some of that tea that you made in your black kettle. Because you're looking at that pot.
Pair it with a slice of that humble pie.
Yeah.
Natalie turns to face the girls, and we get the boot camp scene. So we're going to fast track just a bit, because there's only so much one can handle with this sort of thing.
Yeah, Natalie goes into drill instructor mode and tells the girls they're not going to be winging it or hoping for the best. Phoebe makes a quip. Natalie gets her in her face, just like a real drill sergeant, guys. And she's like, oh, you're just tough because you took out Balthazar. And I see Phoebe go,
Yeah, she kind of like just stares.
And then Natalie's like, you're only as good as your next vanquish.
Yeah. Natalie says
always be vanquishing.
Yeah. Natalie says that the alley that they're in is a neutral battlefield, that their challenge is to fight Ames, and their primary goal is
Piper to win.
Yeah, she like excitedly, like with a hand movement and everything, is like, to win. But Natalie shuts her down, saying that the goal is to get the crossbow.
And she picks up a piece of composite wood or something.
Yeah, it's a
looked
broken
weird.
piece of wood.
It looked not quite like wood.
Yeah. It looked like foam core made to look like wood. Just saying.
Something like that. Like the break point kind of looked like wood.
Yeah.
Like it had grain.
So she picks up this piece of wood, pretending that it's the crossbow, and reminds them that the Darklighter arrows are tipped in poison that kills Whitelighters. So, way back in episode 121,
Love hurts.
Leo was just being overly cautious about not having the sisters touch the Darklighter arrow due to poison.
Mm-hmm.
Because he made it seem like it would hurt them as well.
I mean...
And now it just kills Whitelighters.
I mean, she didn't say just Whitelighters. She just mentioned it's poisonous to Whitelighters.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Just remember, this shit is poisonous to Whitelighters.
Yeah.
So if you don't get it, we got problems.
Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Natalie says that once they get the crossbow, the immediate threat is over.
But if they have the opportunity to vanquish Ames, they should take it.
And she tells them to pretend that she's the enemy.
Prue smiles the biggest smile and is like, this is way too easy.
Phoebe claps her hands.
And Piper laughs.
It was great.
It was so great.
Natalie then, weirdly,
asks
them to talk through how they're going to defeat her.
Yeah, like, how do you plan on getting this crossbow? So the girls mention all the regular stuff they do, like freezing, levitating, kicking, astral projecting, and telekinesis. But Natalie says that the freezing would get deflected, the kick just takes out a clone, and while Prue is in astral form, she could be stabbed in the back by just, a blink.
Yeah. Phoebe says that there's usually more adrenaline happen during these sessions, and Natalie's like, well, I want you to use your brains, not your glands. That's glands with a D.
Yeah. It was a bit weird.
Mm-hmm.
Just a slight bitch.
Yeah, it was... I mean, we don't know Natalie's character very well, so I can't say it's out of character, but it's very, like, they watched an episode of, I don't know, what has a drill sergeant in it? What movie has a drill sergeant? You remember that guy who was, like, on TLC, and he's, like, showing people weapons and shit? And he was, like, a drill sergeant in some movie?
Oh, I have no
I don't
idea.
remember. But either way, it seems like they watched a movie featuring a drill sergeant and just, like, copied the dialogue a bit.
Yeah, it was...
Kind of lazily, honestly.
Yeah, just a titch.
Yeah.
It was slightly odd.
Anyway,
we then get the training montage time-lapse.
Oh, yeah.
We see...
fitting music.
Yeah, like some lovely upbeat, rock something or other.
I'll argue with it being lovely.
I use that facetiously.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Prue runs up a wall, flips over, lands staring back at the wall, and Natalie, like, taps her on the shoulder with the piece of wood to be the crossbow, and Prue, like, turns around and just looks defeated. Phoebe levitates to kick her.
Natalie grabs her foot and then spins her.
Yeah, and we see the back of her shirt being pulled away from her body so we can see that it's showing off the wire work. It was kind of funny.
That wire, it worked.
Mm-hmm. Phoebe then falls to the ground and Natalie points the crossbow at her. And there's there was this adorable moment halfway through the spin where Phoebe sticks her tongue out at Natalie.
Very Phoebe.
It was so Phoebe. And then Natalie stands on a dumpster throwing balls of white lightning at Piper, who does a cartwheel and freezes one, and then a somersault and freezes another one. And then Natalie throws 3 at once, and Piper goes to do a second cartwheel, but the balls all hit her in the back.
And she kind of that kind of effect where, like, they determined on the computer where the balls would, like, hit something, and it doesn't correspond with the line of Piper's body.
Yeah.
Because it, like, goes past her shoulder.
Yeah, it was a little bit badly CGI'd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but she kind of
stops and leans against the thing and is like, she and Natalie both kind of looked dejected at that moment, and it was just kind of sad.
Mm-hmm. We cut to, is this our 4th helicopter shot of the episode?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah,
another helicopter shot over the Triangle Building.
And it does that weird, like, upside down thing. Like,
I like that.
I don't mind it. It's just, it's an odd thing where it's like you can tell the helicopter is going over and the camera just turns as it's going. And we find ourselves inside P3. No exterior shot. And we only know that it's P3 because we know P3.
Yeah. Natalie is sitting over at a random table doing some writing. She's back in her gray suit.
Mm-hmm.
The girls are all sitting at the bar
With a rhyming dictionary sitting next to them. And they're also writing. Piper is now in a long sleeve red turtleneck. Prue is in a green tank top that seems to be made from leather.
Or fake leather.
Mm-hmm. And Phoebe is in a different long sleeve white shirt that has that same 3-button collar that she wore in the one in the training scene. But this one has like a flower motif on the arms, and she's added a black vest over top. And all three now have their hair down.
Phoebe still has the tiny braids, though.
Yes.
Phoebe jokes about vanquishing Natalie, and Piper's like,
just a little too keen on that.
Yeah. And then Prue's like, well, I'm done with the cloning part of the spell. They're all apparently dividing up the one spell between the three of them.
Yep. Piper says that she's almost got the transmogrification bit done.
Now you know why Prue said it that way.
Uh-huh.
Phoebe says that her bit came out a little country western,
Which
not quite rock and roll.
Yeah, which apparently to her means just dropping the G on a word ending in ing.
All she says is, I'm rejecting your deflection.
I'm rejecting your deflection. It doesn't sound very country, like, at all.
Also, they still don't really rhyme.
No.
But anyway, they all lament that they have to have Natalie approve their spell, and while Prue admires her professionalism and dedication, they're all just sad she's not Leo.
Yeah. Natalie walks over to them asking how the spell is coming, and they say that they're done, and Phoebe hands her a piece of paper, and Natalie reads it and seems to approve. And Prue's like, okay, I'll go scry for Ames, but Natalie's like, no, I have a better idea.
She decides that she's going to be bait, and Piper immediately says, oh no, bad idea. Natalie prematurely thanks Piper for her concern.
Which Piper assures her is not just for her, and that she basically worries that Natalie is going to fail at getting away.
But apparently Natalie's gone over every permutation, all of the millions of them, and thinks that as long as they follow the rules, there's no way this can end badly. And I would like to remind her and everyone else, if there's anything we've learned from this administration, the rules only work if everyone follows them.
Yeah.
Both sides.
It's like when this is the best thing that I can think of as an example. Batman versus Superman. You look at it on paper and you go, Superman's going to kill Batman because Superman is a alien with powers and Batman's just a dude, rich guy in a suit with some fancy gadgets. But here's the thing that people seem to keep forgetting. Batman cheats. And Superman doesn't.
Don't they both have codes about not killing, though?
Maybe.
I know Superman does. I know Batman is against guns and he prefers to arrest people and send them to prison.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to kill people.
Right.
And we're just going to ignore the most recent Batman, Superman movies. Wonder Woman has no such compunction. I remember reading a comic recently, or a couple of panels from a comic, where some evil dude, grabs Wonder Woman, and it's, mentioning he's glad she's not Superman. She's like, yeah, you know what Superman has that I don't? A code against killing. And then just fucks him up.
Nice. Very nice. Yeah, no, but that's the biggest thing, is, Batman versus Superman, on paper, Superman would kick Batman's butt, but Batman will always win because Batman doesn't play by the rules. He doesn't play fair.
I think Batman does have a code against killing, because I'm remembering some comic panel where someone punches the Joker through the chest, and Batman's face is just like, and it's really hilarious.
He goes into screamer pose.
Well, without the hands, I just need to make my face do the thing.
Yeah.
But it was very screamer.
Anyway, we end this scene with a shot of the girls both looking annoyed and worried.
We cut over to the dead witch. There is now slightly less lighting in this clearing.
And the girls are hiding behind some bushes.
They've all changed outfits again.
Well, they haven't changed outfits. They've just added jackets. Okay. Piper has added a long leather jacket to her outfit, and Prue has added a denim jacket with a fuzzy collar to hers. And I think we've seen this jacket before. And we can now see that the front of her green leather corsety top type
Laces
of thing.
up the front.
It laces up the
Yeah.
front, kind of. Yeah, I was gonna say it isn't really a corset top. It's just like a halter top, but like it laces up the front, kind of like a corset.
Natalie orbs in and goes to do her double wax on, wax off move on the dead witch, like she's going to try and heal her. Ames blinks in.
Natalie calls out to the girls like, now! And Ames tries to shoot Natalie with the crossbow, but she orbs out in time, and it goes through the... Where her head
was.
Yeah, where her head was.
Prue uses her power to knock the bow out of his hands. Ames immediately disappears in that clone way.
Yeah, and Phoebe's like, it was a clone!
Yeah.
Piper goes over and picks up the crossbow, and then all of them realize that he's not fighting back. He's just kind of disappeared.
Yeah, Piper thinks it might be because they got the crossbow.
But Prue realizes that it was way too easy, and Phoebe hates that
Phoebe says, and worse, anticlimactic.
Yeah, it was great.
Just like with that one line Hermione has in the first book of Harry Potter, where she's like, you all could be killed. Or worse, expelled.
Yeah. Piper says that they got the crossbow, so they should leave, and they all make their way back through the trees.
Mm-hmm.
We get an exterior shot of the manor showing off that tree with no leaves. Natalie is pacing in the foyer as the girls walk in. Piper hands Natalie the crossbow, saying that they didn't get Ames, but Natalie says that that wasn't the primary goal.
Prue tells her that she thinks he gave up too easily, and Phoebe says they didn't really get to execute the plan Natalie gave them.
Right. Natalie says that she's happy that they all worked well together and decides that she's going to bring the crossbow up there. Piper asks if that means that Leo gets to come back, and Natalie says that it's not her call. And then she kind of pauses for a second with sudden realization before asking about the fact that Ames didn't fight back at all.
Prue tells her, I flung, he fled. And then Natalie asked if they waited around and looked for him, but Phoebe's like, no,
Nope.
we played by the rules and grabbed the crossbow.
Yeah.
And this is when Chekhov's transmogrification rears its ugly head. Natalie looks down at the crossbow in her hands and goes, the crossbow! And then black smoke appears and it rears up and you see a little bit of Ames' face. Steve Valentine's face, like, moving upward through this cloud of black smoke.
Yeah.
And then he appears. He's holding the arrow. He transmogrified into the crossbow.
Yeah.
And
he grabs Natalie, and Prue, like, uses her power against him, and he deflects it, sending her flying into a table, which brings our furniture annihilation quotient up to 9 for the season and 35 for the series.
Piper tries to freeze him. He deflects it, sending her down onto the floor next to Prue. She, like,
slams
spins.
into
She like
cabinet
rolls
thing.
and her legs slam into like this cabinet bookshelf type thingy.
Yeah, only the things inside it fall out. She doesn't actually break it, so it doesn't
It's
count
damaged.
for the FAQ. It doesn't really break. Just the things kind of fall
fine.
out.
Anyway, Ames agrees that it was way too easy.
Yeah.
And then stabs Natalie in the stomach with the arrow that he's got.
Yep, Piper yells out a no, and he blinks out of the room with Natalie, and we get a shot of the girls looking confused and a bit scared before we go to commercial break.
You know, speaking of Harry Potter, Steve Valentine would have made a great Snape.
Yeah.
Like, he's got the aesthetic. He's a bit more sallow-faced, which is in keeping with the book.
He's got a bit of a pointy nose.
Bit of a hook. Just like more narrow and a little bit younger than Alan Rickman. Even in like look. If they were trying to go more age appropriate, because like think about it, the Marauders were like 21 when Harry was born, which means they would have been in their early 30s when the books start. So having Alan Rickman trying to play someone in his 30s. Like, he was in his 30s while doing Die Hard.
Yeah.
That's young Alan Rickman right there. And boy, is he good to look at.
Anyway.
I'm just saying he looks like a silk-shirted Snape.
Yeah, just a bit. So we get another exterior shot of the manor, just from a different angle. And inside, we must have had a small time jump, because Prue and Piper have now removed their jackets. They were on in the end of that last scene, and now they're gone.
And they probably were checking each other over or something for injuries.
Yeah, who knows?
Anyway, they're all they're all annoyed that they followed the rules and it fucked them over.
Yeah, they followed the rules instead of their instincts.
Yeah, and they start yelling for Leo. He orbs in, so clearly he's been taken off of lockdown.
Mm-hmm. And he says that he was watching even though he wasn't supposed to be. So he knows that they were following all of Natalie's rules.
Leo reminds them that he knows from experience that the dark lighter poison doesn't kill immediately, so they've got a little bit of time.
Yeah.
And they just need to break the rules in order to get Ames.
Yeah. So then Leo and Piper have an entire conversation where they don't finish their sentences, but they still completely understand what's being said.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Prue and Phoebe just kind of look at each other confused.
Oh, yeah.
It was lovely.
See, this is the counterpart to the earlier Natalie finishing Leo's sentences.
Exactly.
This is where Piper knows Leo's sentences, but doesn't finish them.
Yeah, they don't need to finish their sentences to know what's happening.
Yeah.
We get yet another helicopter shot. We get a lovely fast night shot over Coit Tower, where it's all lit up and pretty, and it does that same, like, going upside down thing that it does over the Triangle building. Yeah. And I don't think we've ever had this shot before. Mm-hmm. Which is awesome. I really like that every once in a while there's just an additional shot that wasn't there before. Mm-hmm. We cut to Ames and Natalie, who's lying on the ground, and they're in some sort of an alley or possibly back in that industrial area. Like,
I think it's back in the industrial area.
Yeah,
they've got their stock alleys.
Yeah,
they just redress occasionally.
It's like there's a bunch of like crates and barrels and not crate and barrel, but crates and barrels.
Yeah, it's more like a Restoration Hardware.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we
or a Z Gallery.
We see her lying on the ground, and he kind of monologues for a moment about death and Natalie being responsible for the end of all whitelighters and witches.
There's this very, I'd say quasi-erotic bit where he just, like, runs the back of his finger along the, like, up the arrow.
Yeah, up the shaft of the arrow.
He's playing with that shaft.
Yeah. It was a little bit weird. And then he, like, grabs the arrow and like pushes it down a little bit more, and we see her face light up, and her power goes into him, and she dies. And
I find it very interesting that he's able to not only steal witches' powers, but things that aren't witches. Mm-hmm. That's interesting to me. Like, we've not really seen that before.
That might be what his power is.
Well, we know
that his power is the power to take other people's power if he kills them. Well, no,
because from Jeremy we know warlocks steal witches' powers. That's their thing.
Yeah.
It is how they do, as Zay Frank says.
Yes.
That's how warlocks do.
Yep.
Or that how warlocks do, I guess, is how he would phrase that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so he takes her powers, he grabs the crossbow, and then he orbs up into that white, misty place.
Mm-hmm. And he gets up there.
And kind of coughs a little.
He coughs, and he squints, and he shields his eyes for a second before he kind of, like, looks around. Because apparently, despite all this mist, it's really bright up there.
Yeah. And we see whitelighters in their robes with the hoods up and lights coming from the hoods. They're just kind of milling about nearby. 3 of them standing in one little spot.
Yeah, one specifically with their back to him.
Yeah.
And so he takes aim at that one, shoots it. This whitelighter form throws out a hand and deflects the arrow. Turns around, it's Prue.
Well, and we see the arrow, like, freeze in midair.
Oh, yeah.
And that's when, like, we see the arrow get deflected and then frozen before Prue turns around and lowers the hood. And then we get a quick shot of Piper. She still has the hood up, but we didn't hear the sound of her magic, but we see her put her hands down like she had just used them.
I feel like we might have heard the sound.
If we did...
We definitely saw the arrow freeze.
We saw the arrow freeze, but we didn't hear the telltale freezing sound. Or
it might have been drowned out by the background clicking.
I was going to say, if we did, it was drowned out by the sound of Prue's power.
Oh, yeah, probably. But anyway, there's behind Ames, we see a robed and hooded person. We hear the telltale sound of Phoebe's battle cry.
Hi-ya!
He turns around and she kicks him in the chest, back first, into the arrow.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. She, like,
Does she kick away the crossbow, too?
No, because he when she kicked him, he dropped the crossbow.
Okay.
So she, like, lowers her hood, and the girls all kind of walk over to him as he falls to the ground. And Piper is the last one to lower her hood. So we have this little image really quickly of Phoebe and Prue standing there with their hair flowing and just a one hooded figure still staring at him. And it was just an interesting image.
Mm-hmm.
And then she lowers her hood, and the girls, like, stand around him, and Ames asks them why they're there.
And Phoebe very loudly quips, "Kicking your ass."
Yeah. Prue lets Ames know that he didn't just get the Whitelighter power, but he also got their vulnerability.
Uh-huh. Which is why he can't orb out.
Yep. Because the Darklighter poison is going to kill him.
Yeah, Piper mentions that it's kind of poetic, and then asks if her sisters are in a rhyming mood.
I think it was Phoebe asked.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the poison is just a bit too slow for them.
Yeah.
So they say their vanquishing spell, the first line being said by all three of them, and then each of the three say the specific lines that they wrote.
Yeah.
I'm like, why were they working on this for so long?
Yeah.
So dumb.
The spell is time for amends and a victim's revenge. Cloning power turns sour. Power to change turn to strange.
And Phoebe's line,
I'm rejecting your deflection.
and she kind of like throws it verbally at him, like, I'm rejecting your deflection.
Yeah. She tries to be all like country western about it.
Yeah.
Ames burns and disappears, and the girls kind of seem surprised that it worked.
Yeah.
And Prue's just happy that it wasn't anticlimactic.
Yeah. Phoebe laughs, and they spot a hooded Whitelighter with glowy face.
Yeah, this is the first time that we are seeing the glowing happening face first.
Yeah.
And it's literally like there's just a light bulb
It's
coming
not a practical
at them.
effect. When it's like off to the side and they just... Honestly, these hoods remind me a little bit of the wings from Handmaid's Tale.
I have not seen that.
Well, if you look up images, you'll see what I mean, because
Okay.
it's trying to like block their face from the side. It's like horse blinders. Kind of, but like a hood type thing.
Okay.
Or like a bonnet.
Yeah, it's very much bonnet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But yeah, when it's obscuring the face, they can do the practical effect of lighting around the head, and so you see the glow on the opposite side of the hood, inside of the hood.
right.
But
this is
otherwise you don't see
a
much.
face-on thing, so it's got a little bit of a CGI like glow
Yeah,
of covering
glowy,
the
like,
face.
gradient orb.
Yeah, and Piper is kind of worried for a second, but it turns out to be Leo.
He says that he's proud of them and they apologize for not being able to save Natalie. He says that she would have chosen to die for the greater good, and then's like, oh, we need to, like, dash.
Yeah, we need to get out of here before we all get in trouble. And Prue, like, semi-jokingly asks about getting a tour of the place, and Piper's like,
it doesn't matter, we're not going to remember this anyway. And Leo's like,
oh, you'll
but this
remember
time-
it this time. Yeah. And Piper seems surprisingly happy about that, as do Prue and Phoebe.
And they walk off.
And they walk off screen. And it was kind of adorable because she's like, woo, goody. Like that kind of thing. And we get yet another helicopter night shot. This one whips around the Triangle building and then like zooms down toward the street and like focuses on a building. And then we're not given an exterior shot of P3, but we wind up inside P3. So I don't know why the helicopter zoomed in on a building that wasn't P3. It was kind of like that same, like, this is where the rave is. The rave is in Chinatown and whatever. And it like zooms in on this random building.
Huh.
It was a little odd. Anyway, we see a woman on stage singing something about being happy. And we are to assume that this is the special musical guest, Box. But according to IMDb, Box is sometimes credited as a single guy named Henry Boxley Jr., so I'm not really sure what's going on.
This is definitely like a strawberry blonde woman wearing a fake chainmail halter top
Yeah, and like
that has like
pleather
the
pants.
string back. Oh yeah, very tight pleather pants, very low cut pleather pants.
Yeah. So, and because the name of the band is Box, I could not find out a goddamn thing about them.
I love that joke about how someone's like, we should make a band called Artist. Our first title be Album 1. And then the art
the first
is
song,
just the CD logo.
And the first song is track number 1. Yeah.
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 Impossible to search.
Yeah. That'd be horrible.
That'd be great.
Anyway, Prue comes up to Piper and Phoebe, who are sitting in the alcove. And again, we're now in the final scene, so they've all changed their clothes again.
Yeah, they're in that alcove by the stairs? Under the stairs? I don't know.
Yeah, they're in the alcove that's like right in front of where the stairs are. So they're not in the VIP room.
No.
Yeah.
No, they're in that bit where Phoebe turned everyone into animals.
Yes. Yeah. Piper is now in black pants and a red top that has like spaghetti straps that looks like it could be backless.
I'm pretty sure it might be.
And it's,
or like that string back thing.
Yeah, and it's like slightly
like a cowl
like a
neck?
pooled neck kind of thing. And her hair is down and she's got that little diamond necklace on.
Mm-hmm.
Prue is in a low-cut spaghetti strap dress that's a couple of different shades of purple. Though I guess it could possibly be like a shirt.
I think it was a tank top skirt combo.
Yeah, but it's different shades of purple. Her hair is down and she's not wearing really any jewelry.
Phoebe is in a lovely
gorgeous
top. That's given her honestly a bit of quad boob. Like at certain angles, it's like
they are a bit pushed up.
Well, it's not just that they're pushed up; it's that they're spilling out.
Yeah, just a tad. So, but this corset is like blue with like some embroidered flowers and detailing and spaghetti straps that are literally doing nothing because they're falling off her arms. And she's paired it with what looks to be like a dark silver skirt.
And her hair is just a little bit teased or like mussed or something.
Yeah,
and she's got like this really interesting color of lip gloss or lipstick or whatever.
Yeah,
and a smoky eye.
Yeah,
I love this look. This is hot. I am into that.
Yeah.
Although I question the quad boob.
Well,
I question it. I appreciate it, but I question it. That doesn't look very comfortable.
No, and she's kind of like sitting in this chair slightly awkwardly
because she's wearing a corset.
Yeah, though.
But anyway, Prue is hanging up her cell phone and she's like, oh, I checked the messages from home.
Meaning that she called into the answering machine and was able to hear the messages because that's a thing that you could do back in the day.
Yeah,
call in, you punch in a little code.
I could never remember my PIN.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Anyway.
Apparently Reese called to talk to Phoebe about the case and Phoebe is a little too enthusiastic about going, oh, was it urgent?
Yeah, did he mention it being urgent? And Prue's just like, why would it be urgent? And like, Phoebe kind of just like walks that question back. She's like,
I can't think of
any reason why it would be urgent. Never mind. Piper is like, I'm urgently waiting for Leo to show up because he's been up there a long time and she's kind of worried about them being mad at him even though they saved everybody.
Everybody's butts.
Yep.
Hold on to your butts.
Yeah. Phoebe, though, reminds her that they did break the rules to do it, and Piper says
if they hold that against him, that she's crossing over to the other side.
Which was supposed to sound like she was saying that she was going to be going to Team Evil, but it sounded a little bit to me like she was saying, I'm going to kill myself.
Yeah, the side, I'm pretty sure the side they mean is dark, not dead.
Yeah, but it was just that little, it might have been the mindset that I was in while watching this, but it was just that little bit of like, I'm going to the other side. And the reason that we know that it's supposed to be...
Break on through to the other side.
Yes. We know that the reason that she's saying it, she's meaning, like, Team Evil, is because Prue kind of, like, smiles and is like, ditto.
Yeah.
And then Phoebe kind of reluctantly agrees with the ditto. She's like, yeah, ditto. And then she kind of, like, does this, like, look
zones
off
out
to the side.
Yeah, she zones in for that line and then zones right back out.
Yeah. Piper walks off to go back to work, and we get a small moment of silence before Prue asks Phoebe what's going on in her head. And Phoebe kind of tries to deflect. She's like, nothing, you know that. And Prue's just like, don't joke.
Yeah.
It
was a real cute sister moment.
Yeah. And Phoebe's like, I'm just worried about Leo too. And then we cut to Leo looking around and he sees Prue and Phoebe and he smiles and starts heading over. And he's now wearing a gray jacket over a blue shirt with dark gray pants. Looks very nice.
Prue gets up to go get Piper and Leo comes up to Phoebe and sits down.
They exchange hellos. He asks how she's doing and she kind of lies about being great before breaking down and calling herself a screw up.
He says that, he should be the one apologizing because he should have been watching more carefully.
And then Prue and Piper come back and Piper immediately asks what took so long.
Leo says that he has news, that they figured out that they, the elders, figured out that the girls were up there. They reviewed the facts of Natalie's situation and unanimously decided to lift probation.
And Piper seems to not really understand what's being said in that moment, and then he spells it out for her by saying that they are officially engaged.
ENGAGED.
Yeah. Prue gets very excited and starts, like, jumping up and down, and she hugs Piper while still jumping up and down.
And Phoebe, from her seated position, hugs Leo around, like, the hips, and her head's, like, up against his stomach.
It was the most adorable thing. Like, super adorable. She, like, leans into his stomach and hugs his stomach and just kind of, like, looks up at him. It was so cute.
And then Prue runs over to Phoebe and sits next to her on this tiny chair that they're both on.
Yeah, and, like, gives her a little side hug.
Yeah, and then
the last shot
I get taken out
of the scene, we see Piper and Leo hugging in slow motion.
Slow motion. That was not done by overcranking. This was done in post.
Right. With Prue and Phoebe looking on, smiling, also in slow motion.
And the music's a bit weird here.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, a little ominous.
A little bit. Tiny, tiny bit. But it was like they needed just a couple more seconds. Like, they were like 3 or 4 seconds too short.
I know!
And that's why they're like, let's just slow it down. It'll be great.
You could have literally just added a throwaway line.
Or they could have just, lingered on it a little bit longer.
No one's
Something.
honestly, no one's gonna punish the show for being 4 seconds too short.
Yeah.
No one's gonna do that.
Yeah.
What they're gonna do is they're only gonna add a second onto each commercial break.
Exactly.
That's all they have to do.
Exactly.
Just 1 second of black.
Yeah.
And then back in.
Yeah.
You just have a longer fade in.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Yep. That's all I need.
But we get the end credits.
Yep.
Which means the episode is over.
Mm-hmm.
Which means we are on to our ratings portion.
Yes.
So, would you like to go first?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna give this one 9 out of 10 silk shirt snapes.
All right. I am also giving this a 9 out of 10. Fucking finally.
Cat's happy that they lifted probation.
That was literally my reaction when Leo was like, we're officially engaged. I was like, fucking finally.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. That is my rating. So then, with the ratings done, that means we are on to our outfits. I'm assuming we can both agree that Phoebe's corset is our favorite of Phoebe's outfits. I mean, seriously, I wish she'd been wearing it for longer than that final scene.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Or, as George Takei would say,
oh my. For Prue, I actually kind of liked the silly boot camp outfit with the bra sticking out.
Oh, God, that bra was great.
She just looked amazing.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
And for Piper, it's kind of a toss-up between the red turtleneck, black pants, leather jacket over it outfit and the red top, black pants outfit from the final scene. Like, they both looked amazing on her.
I kind of liked the first outfit she was in, but the second two hair. The last outfit she was in, the hair. I love that.
Mm.
But, like, outfits, probably the black on black from the first scene.
See, I didn't really care much for that.
I just liked it. I liked how she looked in it.
Yeah.
I liked how it made her collarbones look.
Mm.
I don't know how else to explain it.
Hey,
Or when I'm going to stop doing this inflection.
Sometimes you don't need to.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, with our ratings done,
it's on to social media time.
Yeah!
You can, as always, find us at charmchats.com. We are on Twitter and Tumblr as CharmChatsPod.
Mm-hmm.
We are on Instagram and Pinterest as CharmChats.
And Facebook.
And Facebook as well. And if you would like to shoot us a couple of bucks so we can keep doing this crazy little thing we're doing, you can find us on patreon.com/charmchats.
Yep, and you can become a patron there and join our Discord where we're having some lovely conversations.
Oh, yeah. And if you like, we've also got some stuff up on Redbubble. We got merch, babes.
Yeah. If you don't want to become a patron, but you still want to support us by, showing the world your love by wearing our logo on your chest or on your tote bag or whatever, or, you want to show off Blue's adorable face, you can do that. You go to redbubble.com/people/waterflame. And, we have, at the moment, we only have 4 things up, but there will be more merch in the future, I can assure you.
And if you have ideas for that, feel free to email us or message us or
you can email
contact us in some way.
Yeah, you can email us at charmchats@gmail.com if you have, anything that any like phrase that we say all the time that you want to see as a shirt or as a sticker or anything like that. Let us know, because we will gladly make more stuff because it's super fun.
And we love dicking around on Photoshop.
Yeah, kind of enjoyable. Yeah. And we haven't asked for this in a while, but I figure, it might be, it's been a while. We're now halfway through season 3.
Yep.
So I figure might as well ask again. If you are listening on iTunes and you have not done so yet, please rate and review us, because that way more people will hear about us.
And we like reading them.
We do. We really do. It's super sweet.
Especially when they tell us that we don't sound like we like the show much.
Yeah.
Which is honestly a compliment.
Well,
it shows that we know how to be critical of the things we love.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes people don't understand that.
Yep. And to be fair, that was like one of the very first reviews we had.
Yeah, it was like review number 3.
Yeah, by someone who literally didn't even finish listening to the first episode, really.
True.
So, what do they know?
Not much about us.
Exactly.
Probably a lot about other things, because, people have facets.
Yes. People are like layers.
Onions. They're not like layers, they are like onions. They have layers.
Have layers. I knew what I meant.
Oh, Shrek.
I want a parfait. Anyway, until next time,
sleep tight. Don't let the warlocks bite. Unless they're Steve Valentine.
Bye!
Bye!
Phoebe, Piper, and Prue, they've got evil to slay and some potions to brew. So we'll see where it's at next time with Kendra and Kat on Charm Chats.
Oh my.